It's Wednesday, January 28th. Premiers are looking to get on the same page on issues such as affordability, trade during their winter meetings, which will all include the Prime Minister. Regina police have charged a second suspect in the city's first homicide of 2026.
Whether it's that hospital, whether it's that water treatment plant, whether it's Grain Millers Road, taking the 6% PST off of these projects ensures that that money stays here in the community instead of going directly into the Sask Party bank account.
The Saskatchewan NDP says the government's PST on construction is a chokehold on growth. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Happy Wednesday.
What a great day it is. It is nice and warm outside.
Well, warmer.
Well, compared to last week. We did some gymnastics yesterday, did some tumbling all over the place. Kid was out by 7. It was greatest day of my life. Burned off all
that energy.
Yes,
did she actually sleep through the night then?
Oh, yeah. I assume she's still asleep. It's only 6.
We don't know what that's like at our house.
That is true. What a joyous blessing that is. We got a lot of news coming up for you. We'll get to that right now. Weather in just a second. We begin with the chilly relationship between Canada and the U.S. They got a little frostier. The Prime Minister revealing his version of events about his call with the U.S. President Monday. As CTV senior political correspondent Mike Couture explains, it directly contradicts what Washington is saying.
I meant what I said in Davos.
Prime Minister Mark Carney stood by his speech during a phone call with U.S. President Donald Trump. The 30-minute conversation covered Arctic security, Venezuela, and Canada's agreement with China.
I explained to him what we're doing, 12 new deals on 4 continents in 6 months. He was impressed, and what we intend to do going forward, as well as the opportunity to, of course, move forward on CUSMA.
Let's talk about the Prime Minister, or if you prefer, Governor of Canada.
12 hours earlier, the U.S. Treasury Secretary says he was on that call and characterized the conversation differently.
He spoke to Prime Minister Carney, who was very aggressively walking back some of the unfortunate remarks he made at Davos.
Asked specifically about that.
So you didn't walk back your comments?
No.
But there was no public readout of the conversation between Trump and Carney, something the Conservatives are criticizing. Michael Chong wrote on social media, "It is unacceptable that Canadians and journalists learned of this recent call from American media." Besson's comments come days after Trump threatened to impose 100% tariffs on Canada if the government signs a free trade agreement with China, something Carney says he's not pursuing. Political analysts believe the current strategy is to keep calm.
Trump is going to make noise. He's going to flash. He's going to swear. He's going to stamp his feet. Just take a breath, take a moment. Chances are the storm will pass, and it has.
The Prime Minister says he reiterated in his conversation with the President that Canada is responding to the change in U.S. trade policy by building new partnerships abroad, including with China. And Carney says Trump understood that.
Canada's premiers start 2 days of meetings today in Ottawa. Their winter meeting comes ahead of CUSMA's review this year. The economy, affordability, and trade are all expected to be high on the agenda. Prime Minister Mark Carney will be working on hosting a working dinner with the premiers tonight before a meeting tomorrow. The Prime Minister also has a sit-down scheduled today with BC Premier David Eby and Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. Those two premiers have been locked in a disagreement over a proposed pipeline, as you know, to the BC coast. A second suspect has been charged in Regina's first homicide of the year. Police say 37-year-old Stephen Mislichuk was arrested Monday and charged with indignity to a dead body and accessory after the fact to murder. Officers discovered a man's body inside a home on the 1400 block of Princess Street on January 19th after tracking down a vehicle attempting to flee police. 26-year-old Kobe Samuel Fiddler is also charged in the death. The investigation is ongoing. And a 44-year-old Regina man has been charged with dangerous operation of a a conveyance causing death. Now, around noon on October 12th of last year, police responded to a collision on the 3400 block of Dudney Avenue. A freight truck ran through a red light at the intersection of Dudney Avenue and Elphinstone Street, striking another vehicle. The truck then struck a 19-year-old woman inside a bus shelter. EMS performed life-saving measures, but the woman died on scene. After a 4-month investigation, police have charged the driver of the truck, who made his first court appearance yesterday. Saskatoon police are investigating 2 incidents that saw suspects force their way into homes and assault victims with a machete. Jeremy Dodge following this story for us. Take us through the first incident.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, this first one happened Tuesday night, just before 8:30 in the 3100 block of Laurier Drive. A 33-year-old man was found with serious injuries. He told police he was inside an apartment when 3 people came into the suite and assaulted him with a machete. He was taken to hospital to be treated. And then at about 1 a.m. yesterday, police called to the 1600 block of 22nd Street West, where a 46-year-old man reported 6 or 7 people went into his suite, also assaulted with a machete. The victim's injuries also serious in this attack. Police do not believe the attacks are connected. Now, a 28-year-old man is in hospital after being shot yesterday morning. He told police he was in an alley behind the 2200 block of 22nd Street West at 2 a.m. when he was confronted by a man he didn't know. The man demanded cash, stole the victim's wallet, and shot him before taking off. The victim is expected to recover. Police are looking for that suspect. And police are also investigating the assault of a taxi driver by a group armed with a machete. Officers called to the 2200 block of East Hill just after 11 o'clock Monday night. The driver reported arriving to pick up his passengers when 2 people pushed him. One had a machete. Several people were inside the home, including a 41-year-old man who had 2 knives, a baton, and drugs. He is now facing charges related to that. The taxi driver was not injured. Well, Daryl, a BC billionaire with Saskatchewan connections is facing some serious backlash this morning.
You're talking about Jim Pattison, Jeremy, and it's over a possible real estate deal linked to ICE.
This boycott of Pattison grocery stores and Pattison media is gaining real traction, and we need to absolutely escalate the pressure while this deal is in talks.
It's all over the sale of a Virginia warehouse that Pattison owns. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security wants to buy it to use it as an ICE processing facility. The potential deal is now prompting a push for a boycott of all Pattison-owned companies, including Save-On-Foods. BC Attorney General Nikki Sharma is calling on business leaders to think about their role in supporting these operations. Pattison's company has since released a statement saying, in part, this transaction is still subject to certain approvals and closing conditions, and they are committed to complying with applicable laws and regulations. There is now a protest planned for Friday outside the Jim Pattison Group offices in Vancouver. A separate protest is also expected on Friday, targeting Vancouver tech company Hootsuite, which has secured a pilot project with ICE to monitor social media discussions about the agency. Whiteout conditions in eastern Ontario led to a dramatic scene on Canada's most traveled highway.
It is a very clear reminder of how important it is to slow down and give space between you and the vehicle in front of you.
Shortly after 8 yesterday morning, reports started coming in. A tractor trailer caught fire, causing 6 crashes within a 2-kilometer stretch. About 50 cars were involved in the pileup. Remarkably, just 4 people taken to hospital and everyone survived. There were some close calls, though. A woman pulled from this car you're about to see moments before it burst into flames. That meant the burnt remains are draped in spinach that was tossed from a produce truck. In Atlantic Canada, storm cleanup continues under the threat of another nor'easter developing this weekend.
It's not too bad out here. The snow's so light and fluffy, so it's super easy to move this time.
The only thing I don't like is clean it. That's it.
There has been a lot of shoveling and plowing over the past few days. Some areas of the Maritime saw up to 40 centimeters of snow falling between Sunday and Tuesday. The snow disrupted travel and schools. Schools in the Halifax area have been closed 3 out of the last 10 days, and now it's bitter cold that's sticking around. There could be a third series of a nor'easter-type storm that could develop Sunday into Monday. Of course, we'll have those forecasts for you coming up just a moment. Stats Canada has released some long-term projections for our country's population. The agency reported Canada's steepest population decline last month due to immigration policy changes. But looking long-term, all scenarios point to population growth. Under a medium growth scenario, there could be 57 million people in Canada by 2075. A high growth scenario could see Canada's population rise to almost 76 million by that same year. Our country's population was estimated at around 42 million people last year. Parks Canada has announced campers can start booking reservations for the upcoming season on Friday. Prince Albert National Park's Beaver Glen Campground will be open from May 14th to October 11th, but residents can secure their camping spots starting this Friday at 8 a.m. Circle your calendar. Red Deer Campground will open for peak summer months of July and August as electrical upgrades will be installed in the spring and fall. Reservations for Red Deer Campground will be announced at a later date. The Canada Strong Pass offers a 25% discount on camping fees from June 19th to September 27th. Reservations can be made by phone or online through the Parks Canada website. Let's go to Draw 12 at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, a Battle of Alberta between Kayla Sherlick and Selena Sturmey. Both teams 3-1 so far, and they're also 17-17 all time. Fourth end is where we start things out, still scoreless. Sturmey with a chance to score 4 here. All she needs to do is just get the full 8 foot, and look at that, she's got it. That's her 6th 4-ender of the tournament. Skurlick came back from down 4-0, now tied at 5 in the 10th end. Skurlick's last without hammer needs to be shot stone, and this one is close, awfully close. And look, some controversy. Take a look at that replay. Some of the Skurlick sweeper, one of the brooms touches their own rock with the broom. Bolskit's talking it over with officials, and the rock stays in place. So Sturmey has to throw her final rock, and she makes it for her second 4-ender of the night. What a roller coaster. Sturmey wins it. Make the final 9-5. I don't say that near as well as Vic Rauder does. So let's get over to the Weather Center. Join Kaylee and Sawatsky. We got a little bit of cold in the far north, but the rest of the province looks okay.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty okay morning considering what we have been seeing in the past few days, but that bitter cold is becoming a distant memory now. Thankfully, the temperatures this morning, not so bad. -13 in Regina right now to wake us up. Mix of sun and cloud in the next few minutes here when we are waiting for the sun to come up. The wind's very calm this morning, 6 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, -14, mainly cloudy to start the day. We do have winds coming in at 11 kilometers per hour, and we're not really going to be seeing those winds increasing all too much for the afternoon. Areas around the Battlefords and then down through Swift Current could be seeing them peaking just past 30 kilometers per hour. We are talking about some snow today in the forecast, though it's not going to be a lot. It's only going to be about 1 centimeter of snow, and it's coming in through areas around the Battlefords, and then later on into the afternoon we will be seeing it in areas down towards the south. On your screen here, this is at about 6:30 p.m. and we're seeing it falling in areas around Swift Current there. Moose Jaw also has the possibility of seeing about 1 centimeter of snow today, so it's not going to be a lot, but you do have the chance of seeing it. We have some more snow on the way for the day tomorrow. It's a very scattered, broken up system. Prince Albert likely going to be seeing most of those flurries tomorrow. Saskatoon also likely to be seeing some very light flurries. Regina also has the chance of seeing them, so be prepared for that. Current temperatures now, we are seeing that cold way up north right now. Stony Rapids at -36, -31 in La Ronge, -26 in Prince Albert, -32 in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, though, we see a lot of improvements, especially down in that far southwest corner where we saw the warmer temperatures yesterday. -6 right now in East End, -13 in Moose Jaw, -14 in Kindersley, and -14 in Estevan right now. Later on this afternoon, we're seeing more of what we saw yesterday. -10 in Moose Jaw, -13 for Weyburn and Estevan. Keeping in mind, though, that again, we do have the chance of seeing some flurries today in areas around the Battlefords and Moose Jaw. Swift Current as well has a very low chance. Let's take a look at those temperatures for the next 7 days now. So we did talk about some flurries on the way for Regina tomorrow, but we are getting a little bit warmer. -12 is what's being projected. -12 on Friday, mix of sun and cloud. Saturday, also expecting to see some of those flurries. That's actually going to start late on Friday night with some frozen ice pellets. So Saturday, likely not the morning to be heading out for a long commute. 1 degree degree, though, so temperatures not so bad on that day. In Saskatoon, we're seeing more of the same, -11 tomorrow, -4 on Friday. Again, snow starting late in the evening on Friday and continuing on into your Saturday morning when we're getting up to -1. Well, the 2026 Winter Olympics are less than 2 weeks away, and this morning we will find out who will be carrying Canada's flag at the opening ceremony in Northeast Italy. The Canadian Olympic Committee will make the announcement at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. In keeping with the IOC guidelines, Canada will select one man and one woman to share the role. Speed skater Charles Hamlin?
Charles Hamlin, yeah.
All right.
Speed skater.
And veteran hockey star Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Yeah,
okay. Carried the maple leaf into the opening ceremony at the 2022 Winter Games in Beijing. The 2026 opening ceremony is February 6th in Milan.
Which brings us, Jeremy, to our question of the day. We want to know who everyone at home, and I guess us, think that the flag bearer should be for Canada at the Olympic Games. And on the men's side, I'm going to say Sidney Crosby.
I was going locally here.
Mark McMorris?
No, well, Mark McMorris, sure. I was just going with someone I know. I was going to say J.C. Garden, great guy, big boss J.C.
just anybody.
Yeah.
just
what? Just anyone should. It should be my opinion.
Nobody
right?
said it had to be an Olympian,
no,
Jeremy. I guess that's fair. We didn't.
I'm not actually on the committee to select.
Thankfully.
No, Mike and I were discussing it as well, and Sidney Crosby came up, Mark McMorris came up. It has to be someone who has performed in the past, right? Another possible one. What about Ben Hebert? He's been there a time or two.
Benny, he could flex on that for sure. So let's throw this out to you at home. There's the QR code. You scan that. It'll send us an email with your response. Don't forget to include your name. You could also text 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Let's take a look over the city of Saskatoon as you think about who should be Canada's flag bearers, male and female, for the upcoming Winter Games.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. In Fort, we head to Montreal, where the Canadians were hosting the Golden Knights. Habs on the power play in OT. Cole Caulfield shot stop. Juraj Slafkovsky robbed. Akira Schmid. Check this out. He's got the glove ready to save the game, and it delivers, sending Slafkovsky into a state of awe. With the glove hand. Can't believe what he just witnessed. What was it? Our must-see moment. That's what it was. Tonight on TSN, we've got a P-Dub doubleheader for you. The Toronto Scepters facing the Montreal Victoire, and then it's the Vancouver Golden Knights taking on the Minnesota Frost. Coverage gets underway at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
Some of the most advanced science on Earth happens every day at the University of Saskatchewan, and our Mike Siona is learning all about it this morning. Mike.
Well, I'm standing here with Dr. Volker Gertz at Vito here in Saskatoon as we celebrate 50 years of this organization. Doctor, tell us exactly what it is that's done here.
It's really cool stuff that's going on here. We're working on these diseases that are affecting both humans and animals. So zoonotic diseases that have the potential to cause the next pandemic.
Now, we've obviously got 5 decades now of this organization here in the province of Saskatchewan, here in Saskatoon, and some exciting new, CP4 status coming here soon?
Yeah, so this is part of our current expansion to now really enable us to work with any disease of the future. So whether it's an animal or a human disease, so being ready for it. We have an in-house vaccine manufacturing facility, so we can now make in-house vaccines here at Vito. And we also are building now a large animal facility that allows us to house anything from very small animals that we might see in the future, mosquitoes, ticks, and so on, all the way to exotic species, large animals, domestic animals, the whole repertoire that you need.
And we're looking obviously at one of these suits that would be worn in that new lab. I mean, this is there's no fooling around here. These could be some very dangerous pathogens that they're dealing with. Where will this rank Vito in terms of a global organization in this field?
Yeah, so being able to work with level 4 is really putting Vito on a global spot, if you want, on a global map. It would be the only other facility in Canada, aside from the government lab in Winnipeg, that has access to level 4, and also globally there would be about 30 organizations that have that capacity at the moment.
Incredible stuff. All right, we're leaving the boardroom and we're going to go to the lab as the morning continues.
Your school day forecast is brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. Not a bad morning compared to what we have been seeing in the past few days. In Regina, if you're heading out to catch the bus, we're at -13, -14 in Saskatoon. By lunchtime in Regina, -17, and by final bell, we'll be sitting at that expected daytime high of 16 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Calm winds all throughout the afternoon. In Saskatoon, lunchtime temperature -18. Definitely grab a coat for those recess hours. Final bell -15 with increasing cloud cover into the later parts of the afternoon. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices. The common price in Regina this morning is $121.9. The lowest you might find is $102.9. In Saskatoon, the common price $117.9, and the lowest you might find is $114.9. Over to the farm markets now, where we find the street price of canola is trading down. It's at $596.93 per ton, and the futures price at $646.70 per ton. Amber Durum wheat now sits at $274.92 per ton, and red spring wheat at $253.43 per ton. And the Canadian dollar continuing to trade up. It's now at 73.42 cents US. After the break, why the Saskatchewan NDP says the government's PST on construction is a chokehold on growth. Stay with us.
Say good morning. It is 6:30 on your morning, and we begin in the town of Indian Head, where they are fighting the closure of an agriculture research center in the community. The facility is one of 7 being closed by the federal government across the country. An estimated 30 employees in Indian Head could be impacted. The closure is part of the government effort to reduce the size of the federal civil service. The Indian Head Center has been conducting crop research since 1887. The town says it will work with federal and provincial elected representatives to fight against it.
They did research into, from what I understand it, of making better crops, more protein, higher yields, different things like that, stuff that grows better in our climate. Is it a necessity? Yes, I think it is a great thing for the farmers, and they're doing the research to help them along with their production.
The Indian Head Research Center is one of 2 in the province being closed. The other is in Scott, Saskatchewan. The NDP says the government PST on construction is a chokehold on growth. NDP MLA Yadlina Young was in Yorkton calling on the Premier to cut the 6% PST imposed on the Grain Millers Drive construction project. The NDP estimates the tax cost builders an estimated $484 million every year since the government introduced it in 2017. The NDP claims it's driving up the cost of infrastructure and housing across the province.
Projects, whether it's that hospital, whether it's that water treatment plant, whether it's Grain Millers Road, taking the 6% PST off of these projects ensures that money stays here in the community instead of going directly into the Sask Party bank account.
In a statement to CTV News, the provincial government said applying PST broadly provides a stable and reliable source of revenue to fund public services, including municipal grants, infrastructure, healthcare, and education. Regina's crime rate continues to decrease overall, according to new statistics from the city's police service. Crime rates were down about 15% last year, according to the service, but homicides nearly doubled from 6 in 2024 to 11 in 2025. This while calls for the service remain about the same.
I don't think there's one thing specifically saying this is our focus for the year. It's all things, and we're really responsive to crime trends as they happen throughout the year. So, I think all of our both patrol and investigative units are working hard in all of their respective areas to keep our community safe.
Over the past year, apparent overdose deaths also declined. RPS has ramped up enforcement, but says the potency of drugs continues to be the main problem. Toys R Us is closing stores in Saskatchewan. A sign at the Toys R Us store in Saskatoon reads, "This store is closing. Everything must go." The shutdown is part of a wave of closures as Toys R Us Canada struggles financially. Several suppliers are suing over alleged unpaid bills, including makers of Paw Patrol and Gabby's Dollhouse toys. The Canadian Press reports 6 suppliers are seeking more than $4 million, while landlords are suing for another $31 million in alleged unpaid rent.
Whenever there's a closure of any kind, big or small, especially in our district, seeing them leave, it is a little sad to see them go.
We've heard no response so far from Toys R Us. Now to the big controversy in the world of sports. One of the most controversial football coaches denied a spot in the top honor, the Hall of Fame. Sophie Flay reports.
This morning, the football world stunned after former Patriots coach Bill Belichick was reportedly passed over for the Football Hall of Fame.
I don't think anybody was expecting this.
While Belichick remains eligible for the Hall of Fame indefinitely, reports indicate he did not reach the 40-vote threshold required for induction this year.
If I were a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame voting body, I'd be embarrassed about it.
Patrick Mahomes calling the snub insane. J.J. Watt saying, "I can't be reading this right." Even LeBron James reacting, calling it egregious and disrespectful. Sources say Belichick was puzzled and disappointed, reportedly asking associates, 6 Super Bowls isn't enough? What does a guy have to do? Belichick not only has a record 6 Super Bowl wins with the Patriots, he won another 2 as defensive coordinator for the Giants and holds the record for most postseason wins. But multiple reports say cheating scandals during the Patriots championship run may have played a role in the snub.
Are you going to hold Tom Brady out over Spygate and Deflategate too? There's guys in there that have been suspended for performance-enhancing drugs, for gambling, for all kinds of things. So now, when it comes to Belichick, it matters, and it's never mattered before.
Overnight, former Bills and Colts general manager Bill Polian denied playing a role in the Belichick snub. After ESPN reported Polian told some voters Belichick should have to wait a year as a punishment for Spygate, a scandal where the Patriots were accused of videotaping signals from opposing coaches. Belichick, more recently, has faced public scrutiny, appearing to struggle as a college coach while dating 24-year-old Jordan Hudson, who's nearly 50 years his junior. The Hall of Fame says it does not comment on voting. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Seems fishy to me. The Regina Pats brought back a fan favorite for the first time in a decade. Regina Pats skills competition returned to the Brand Centre Tuesday night. First time they've held it since 2014. Team Bredard was the overall winners. Colton Bridgman had the hardest shot, if you were wondering, at 152 kilometers per hour. And Shea Rollison was the fastest skater, turning in a time of 12.63 seconds. I think Kayleen Sawatsky could do it in 11 outdoors. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll start practicing. Actually, do I need the practice?
I don't know. You were doing some solid push-ups yesterday.
Yeah, no, pretty good at that. Yeah. Let's talk about the weather. I'm a little bit better at that. We're talking about some hot and cold spots in the province and across Canada this morning, and the temperature's really not looking so bad. To put this into perspective for you, Regina's at about -14 right now, Saskatoon about -15, so not so bad. Saskatchewan hot spot is Cypress Hills at -2.6. Saskatchewan's cold spot right now is Key Lake -38.4. So yes, up north we are seeing a lot of that cold weather. Canada hotspot Tofino, BC 9.1 degrees, and Canada's cold spot right now is Thompson River, Northwest Territories, currently at -40.2. Let's talk about today's forecast across Saskatchewan though. Temperatures looking pretty similar to what we saw yesterday. Prince Albert going to be reaching about -18 with a mix of sun and cloud. Battlefords -12, Saskatoon -15, Regina expected to peak around -16. Weyburn and Estevan a few more clouds than what we saw yesterday. Both going to be seeing that temperature of -13 this afternoon. I do want to talk about the potential of getting some snow, though. It's not going to be a lot, but areas around the Battlefords down through Moose Jaw, and then areas south of Swift Current also having the potential to see a few flakes this afternoon. What we're not going to be seeing is those higher winds. For the past few days, we've been talking about the strongest gusts around Yorkton. That is not in the books today. We're seeing the gusts around Battlefords, around Swift Current, all those areas that we're expecting to see that system rolling through with a few flakes. But even still, they're only going to be gusting up to about 30 kilometers per hour. So it's really not going to be so bad with those winds today. Let's show you exactly where we are going to be seeing those flakes, though. So areas just west of Prince Albert, you can see lit up in that little white and purple color there. It's kind of hard to see because the system is very broken up. So where we're going to be getting those flakes today, it's going to be pretty stop and go. You can see the largest part of the system is in an area just south of swift current there. This is at about 7 p.m. So it's not going to necessarily be just in the morning or just in the evening. It's going to be stop and go for parts of western Saskatchewan really throughout the day today. Tomorrow, we also see a larger part of that system coming through, mainly bringing flurries to areas around Prince Albert, but also down through Saskatoon, and Regina also has the potential of seeing those flurries tomorrow as well. Getting a little bit warmer, though, with those flakes, minus 12 tomorrow, minus 12 on Friday, and then 1 degree by Saturday, where we're expecting to see some more of those flakes in both Regina and Saskatoon. In Saskatoon, minus 11 tomorrow, minus 4 on Friday, minus 1 on Saturday, and minus 3 on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud.
If you don't own a snowblower, you're always in for a couple of big workouts every winter. And since it's still January, you might still have some snow clearing ahead of you. CTV's Pauline Chan has more from Toronto.
For some people, the shoveling started last night.
It's decent because we did a bunch of phases yesterday.
Okay.
So I think if we didn't get ahead of it, it would be really hard.
When you're shoveling snow, it's a real strenuous physical activity, and it can have a lot of, extra workload on the heart.
Dr. Alan Grill says it's a full body workout that can stress the heart.
You're using your arms, your legs, your back. Secondly, when it's cold outside, your blood vessels tend to constrict. If people have heart disease, they can narrow because of cholesterol, etc. So if they narrow even more when it gets cold outside, that also increases the stress on the heart. Cold weather increases blood pressure, making the heart work even harder to keep the body going.
Take frequent breaks and don't overload your shovel. Use your legs to bear the weight and try not to twist your spine. Physiotherapist Kate Moffat says she anticipates people will start coming in with aches and strains in the next day or so.
The most common is low back injuries, followed by shoulder or kind of bicep and arm injuries.
And when you come in from the cold?
Our instinct is to rest and be still. And the best treatment for low back pain is to keep yourself gently moving. Simple pelvic tilt, some seated marching, just anything that keeps those muscles moving a little bit is going to help them settling down. Taking a walk just around your home.
She says winter isn't done with us yet, so learn to protect your body. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Police Academy was a popular comedy movie franchise in the 80s and early 90s, but the Police Academy at Scott Collegiate is no joke. Yesterday, the program held a showcase for grade 8 students in Regina, and Damian Smith was there.
Students from Regina in grade 8 learn about the bomb squad, SWAT team, and K-9 unit. Scott Collegiate is looking to recruit students to the Scott Police Academy.
We know based on past experiences, students don't have the greatest experience with police officers, so this is just one of our ways that the Regina Police Service and the school board has come up with a plan to do that.
Entering its 6th year, the Academy's outlook is inspired by a program in Rosetta, California. While that program focuses on military and police, the SPA looks to focus on tightening community bonds. In her first year, Valora Larry is happy she joined.
I enjoyed it because I got to interact with the public, and I got to see what my life could be like if I decided to be a police officer.
The Academy currently holds 70 to 80 students, and the first graduating class was only 2 years ago.
You know, you get attached, and I'm not here on a regular basis, but Constable Logan is, and he gets attached to the kids, and they get attached to him too, and they build a nice bond.
With the potential to stay in the program for 4 years, some students take the skills for life and a potential career path.
We have a young man that's in grade 12 that has joined the military who has an aspiration of joining the Regina Police Service.
I want to be a police officer. Currently, I'm serving in the Army Reserve. It's very hard becoming a police officer. They're very strong people.
Begg has wanted to become a police officer since he was 8 years old, interacting with officers at school and watching them on TV shows. The program has been a perfect fit.
I gained leadership skills, communication skills, and skills to work with others, and before that, you never really had that coming out of grade 8.
Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Well, if you're looking to beat the January chill this week, Regina's IMAX Theater rolling out a lineup of movies to take you out of the cold and into the action. And Janelle Lippi is on location this morning for a sneak peek at what's hitting that very big screen. Janelle, good morning.
Hi, Jeremy. Good morning. Lots of fun ahead of us here this morning. I've got Ryan with me now. Ryan, let's talk a little bit about documentaries. You guys have tons of great stuff coming into the IMAX. Let's start with those documentaries.
Sure, that sounds great. So if you are interested in, medicine and the human body and sport, we're just kind of coming to the end right now of our run of Superhuman Body 3D, which is World of Medical Marvels, and this is about all of those things. There's like artificial heart valves and artificial limbs. It's like a fabulous movie, very inspiring, and that's going to be kind of winding down the next couple of weeks, and it's going to make room for a new film that we're launching on February 13th. It's called The Lost Wolves of Yellowstone. So a lot of people might not know this, but the wolves were actually extirpated from Yellowstone. They were hunted away from the park, and in the 90s, there was a group of Canadian wolves that were moved down into Yellowstone and rehabituated in that park. And it was a very, very successful program, and a lot of it was filmed, but then all of that footage went missing. And it was found a few years ago, and they made this great IMAX documentary out of it.
Wow. Okay, so this is really, really interesting. And another point that I wanted to make mention of is we were talking about 3D movies, 2D movies before. Tell me a little bit about how those are created. I was blown away by this information.
Yeah, well, it is very cool, actually. When you are showing a movie in 2D, of course, you're just projecting the image onto the screen. But when you're showing a movie in 3D, you're actually projecting 2 copies of the movie, and they're projected on a screen about 2.5 inches apart from each other. And then when you wear your 3D glasses, it tricks you into thinking that you're seeing a 3D picture.
I think that's fascinating. I'm not sure if you all knew that. I sure didn't. Ryan, thank you so much. Tons of great documentaries coming out right here at the IMAX. So if you need a nice warm activity on a cold winter day, this is the place to find it.
All right, Janelle, thank you very much. We'll see you again in just a little while.
Amazon says it is eliminating 16,000 corporate employees, marking its second round of mass job cuts since October, when it shed 14,000 roles. The latest reductions were announced by Amazon's Senior Vice President of People Experience and Technology, Beth Galletti, who described the move as part of efforts to cut back on bureaucracy in the company. The cuts underscore Amazon's push to operate more efficiently as it reshapes the organization amid rapid advances in AI. Well, the company initially linked the October layoffs to AI-driven changes. CEO Andy Jassy later said those reductions were more about cultural fit than cost savings or automation. ASML raised its full-year dividend by 17% as it delivered higher year-over-year net sales and income for 2025 on the back of a robust fourth quarter, sending its shares up today. Bookings in the fourth quarter were a record 13.2 billion euros as artificial intelligence fueled demand for its most sophisticated equipment, the Veldhoven, Netherlands-based company said in a statement on Wednesday. Now, the news comes hours before Meta, Microsoft, and Tesla report their earnings and could be a positive indicator of what to expect. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
It's January 28th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Sebastian. He's officially 10 years old today. Have a great day from all your friends and family. And happy birthday to Crystal. She's now 38 years old. We hope it's a fabulous birthday. Lots of love from your whole family and baby Charlie. And turning 99 years old today is Jack. Happy birthday to you with a ton of love from your entire family, kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
So
Last Wednesday in January, you could probably at least give something away.
Something away here, right? It's getting into our final days for that Pure Access Pass. All the tickets for all of the concerts in 2026. Get ready. We'll call it another name at 7 to 10 this morning. Make sure you're entered to hear your name by going to purecountry927.ca. On top of that, we're doing a little fantasy football here today as well. Celebrity Country Music Edition, though. So they're doing a celebrity flag football game day before the Super Bowl. Kane Brown going to be a part of that, but I'm wondering if you were to pick one country artist to represent your flag football team, your first pick, who are you going with? There's a lot of guys that actually played like pretty high ball out there. I think I would go with Riley Green, was a quarterback, university, so I think he'd be a solid pick.
I think you need some linebacker material on that team, right? You need somebody that can push some guys around. I think there's a guy on the
Jelly
country,
Roll, Lee Bryce.
There's a guy on the Country Thunder lineup that can push some people around.
There's a few out there. I think we could actually assemble like maybe the greatest team of all time for a rec league anyway.
Should we build it? Let's build it. Okay, I'll send you my list.
Let's
you send
build
me
it.
yours.
If we build it, they will come.
BAFTA nominations or the British Oscars are out. Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another led the nomination count with 14 in total. Sinners was right behind with 13. Both will battle for Best Film along with Marty Supreme, Hamnet, and Sentimental Value. The first episode of Shrinking Season 3 premieres today. ABC Audio caught up with Jason Segel, who spoke about his relationship with co-star Harrison Ford.
It's the honor of a lifetime as an actor and all that. And of course, I'm still 3 years in. I have moments where I'm pinching myself, like, can you believe it? And all of that is great. The coolest part, though, is that he's my friend.
I hope you can walk because I'm not carrying you.
Daredevil Born Again is back. A trailer for Season 2 shows Kristen Ritter returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a super-powered private detective, Jessica Jones. Look for Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus on March 24th. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. And a milestone happy birthday to Alan Alda, the legendary actor and filmmaker most famous for his 11 seasons as Hawkeye Pierce on TV's MASH, is turning 90 years old today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
We all know this too well. Kids often don't take no for an answer, just like this little guy.
Now, you can sleep by yourself.
No, I can't. I'm Mommy's roommate.
But I want to sleep with Mommy, too.
You can't. You always have your own Mommy. Your Mommy lives at Grandma's house, remember? She misses you. Go home, Daddy. Go home.
Now, you can sleep by yourself.
There's no way that's real. There's no way that's real.
No. Can't be.
Valid points, though.
Yeah, with logic like that,
Valid points.
How can you say no?
Bull's mom over in the background. My goodness.
There's great just reasoning skills in him.
Yep. There's an attorney waiting to happen.
Yeah. All right. If you could, what would you want to tell your future self?
Everybody loves somebody sometime.
At this paper cafe, you can select some colorful paper and wax seal pens and well, not wax seal pens. And anyways, you can do whatever you want. It's in Paris, and you can just write a letter to your future self, and in 5 years, you can go back and get it.
Oh. Obviously, it's the plot of Back to the Future. You send yourself sports scores and lottery ticket numbers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody falls in love.
It's Wednesday, January 28th. Canada's premiers are looking to get on the same page on issues like affordability and trade during their winter meetings, including the Prime Minister.
Is it a necessity? Yes, I think it is a great thing for the farmers, and they're doing the research to help them along with their production.
Town of Indian Head says it'll fight the closure of an agriculture research center in their community.
Whenever there's a closure of any kind, big or small, especially in our district, seeing them leave, it is a little sad to see them go.
And Toys R Us stores closing in Saskatchewan. We're talking impact. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Wednesday.
Well, great Wednesday it is. I got to give a shout out to my dentist, Dr. Tess at Green's Dental. Got a brand new front digit here today.
You give a lot of shout outs to your dentist. You getting free work done?
Stop getting high sticks to faces and things.
Yeah. Sticks. He comes in and he goes, I got a stick to the face yesterday. I got a stick to the leg. I got
another one. I got a puck to the back of my. It hurts so.
You got to stop playing hockey, man.
No, I gotta ramp it up more often. It won't hurt so bad. Weather conditions are perfect for playing hockey outdoors. We'll get to that in just a second. First, let's talk about the country's premiers holding 2 days of meetings in Ottawa with the economy, affordability, and trade on the agenda. The premiers will want to show a united Team Canada front as trade tensions rise again with the U.S. They will sit down with the Prime Minister tomorrow. The meetings come ahead of negotiations to renew the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement due for its first formal review this summer. U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened Canada in recent days with 100% across-the-board tariffs on exports. Closer to home, a 44-year-old Regina man has been charged with dangerous operation causing death. It happened around noon on October 12th of last year when police responded to a collision on 3400 block of Dewdney Avenue. Remember, a freight truck ran through a red light at an intersection and struck another vehicle. The truck then hit a 19-year-old woman inside a bus shelter, which killed her on scene. After a 4-month investigation, police have now charged the driver of that truck, who made the first court appearance required on Monday. A second suspect has now been charged in Regina's first homicide of the year. Police say 37-year-old Stephen Mislachuk was arrested Monday and charged with indignity to a dead body and accessory after the fact to murder. Officers discovered a man's body inside a home on the 1400 block of Princess Street on January 19th after tracking down a vehicle attempting to flee police. 26-year-old Kobe Samuel Fiddler is also charged in the death. The investigation is ongoing. Regina Police Service reflecting on the past year, saying crime rates are down 15%, according to the police service. However, homicides nearly doubled. There were 11 in 2025. This, while calls for service remained about the same.
I don't think there's one thing specifically saying this is our focus for the year. It's all things, and we're really responsive to crime trends as they happen throughout the year. So, I think all of our both patrol and investigative units are working hard in all of their respective areas to keep our community safe.
Over the past year, apparent overdose deaths have also declined. RPS has ramped up enforcement, but say the potency of street drugs continues to be a problem. Saskatoon police investigating a pair of alarming incidents. Jeremy Dodge, we throw things over to you.
Thank you very much, Daryl. Yeah, Saskatoon police investigating 2 incidents that saw suspects force their way into homes and assault victims with a machete. First happened Tuesday night, just before 8:30 in the 3100 block of Laurier Drive. A 33-year-old man found with serious injuries. He told police he was inside an apartment when 3 people came into the suite and assaulted him with a machete. He was taken to hospital to be treated. Then at about 1 a.m. yesterday, police called to the 1600 block of 22nd Street West, where a 46-year-old man reported 6 or 7 people went into his suite and assaulted him with a machete. The victim's injuries also serious in this attack. Police do not believe the attacks are connected. Now, a 28-year-old man's in hospital after being shot yesterday morning. He told police he was in an alley behind the 2200 block of 22nd Street West at about 2 a.m. when he was confronted by a man he didn't know. The man demanded cash, stole the victim's wallet, and shot him before taking off. The victim is expected to recover. Police are looking for the suspect. And police are also investigating the assault of a taxi driver by a group armed with a machete. Officers called to the 2200 block of East Hill. Just after 11 o'clock Monday night, the driver reported arriving to pick up passengers when 2 people pushed him. One had a machete. Several people were inside the home, including a 41-year-old man who had 2 knives, a baton, and drugs. He's now facing charges related to that. The taxi driver was not injured. All right, Daryl, we now know how much it's going to cost the federal government to cull those ostriches in BC last year.
Yeah, big story. Newly released documents have revealed the cull costed more than $6.7 million. Those costs were split between the RCMP, the CFIA, and the Department of Justice. The biggest expense for all three agencies were employee salaries, the legal battle, and related public safety matters. The cull was ordered after an avian flu outbreak at Universal Ostrich Farm in Edgewood, BC. Whiteout conditions in eastern Ontario led to a dramatic scene on Canada's most traveled highway.
It is a very clear reminder of how important it is to slow down and give space between you and the vehicle in front of you.
Shortly after 8 yesterday morning, reports started coming in. A tractor trailer caught fire. You see that on your screen, causing 6 crashes within a 2-kilometer stretch. About 50 cars involved in the pileup. Remarkably, just 4 people taken to hospital. Everyone survived. There were some close calls, though. A woman was pulled from a car moments before it burst into flames. The burnt remains were then draped in spinach that had been tossed from a produce truck. Surrey is asking Ottawa's for help to deal with their rising cases of extortion.
This is a city saying, help us. We cannot handle this.
Council passed a motion this week calling on Ottawa to declare a national state of emergency. January is not over yet, and 36 extortion cases have been reported in Surrey, BC this month. And it's not just Surrey. Over the weekend, shots were fired at a Calgary home. No one was hurt, but police say it was likely linked to extortion. The public safety minister is expected to meet with BC officials and the premier this week. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling a drone attack on a passenger train that was packed terrorism. Officials say at least 5 people were killed and several others injured. Officials say one of the train cars was hit by a drone and 2 other drones exploded nearby in a northeastern region. More than 200 people were on the train at the time, and Zelensky says there was no military justification in targeting civilians. Amazon is slashing about 16,000 jobs in the latest round of layoffs at the tech giant. Amazon says it plans to use generative AI to replace corporate workers. The fresh job cuts are part of a broader goal of trimming about 30,000 corporate roles, with layoffs expected to affect workers in Amazon Web Services, retail, Prime Video, and human resources. The company slashed 14,000 jobs in October. A senior vice president says Amazon has been reducing layers and removing bureaucracy.
It is now 85 seconds to midnight.
The doomsday clock has never been closer to midnight. It's now 85 seconds away, as you heard there, from that theoretical point of annihilation. The clock was moved closer because of rising global conflicts, climate change, and growing concerns over the power of AI. It is rate decision day at the Bank of Canada. Most experts expect the central bank to keep its lending rate unchanged at 2.25%. After the last rate announcement, Governor Tiff Macklem said he expects inflation to hold at 2% this year. If that changes, Macklem said the bank is ready to respond. Along with today's announcement, the Bank of Canada will also release its updated economic forecast. The CHL's top team ran their win streak to 8 games last night.
Does not get out. Raiders, good job holding that left line. Harvey drives the net, pad save on the rebound, they score.
Prince Albert Raiders are the top-ranked team in the entire Canadian Hockey League, and they showed why, continuing last night, beating the Moose Jaw Warriors 4-3. The Warriors are winless in their last 3.
Gives to the circle, Marcus Rock, backdoor, they score!
Marcus Rock scores, and he sails in the air like Bobby Orr. Medicine Hat Tigers knocked off the Saskatoon Blaze 4-1 last night. The Blades have dropped 2 straight. They are back in action tonight in Lethbridge. What a goal. Let's go over to the forecast. It's brilliant there, too. It looks pretty nice today.
Yeah, it's not so bad to start the day. We've been getting used to these temperatures in the morning hours of those minus 20s to minus 30s. This morning, it's just not the case for areas down towards the south, at least in parts of the central zone. Yes, it is still cold far up north. Regina right now, though, not bad. Minus 13. We do have some cloud cover to wake us up. 11 km/h winds in Regina, and similar conditions in Saskatoon. We're at minus 14, cloudy and fairly low winds to start the day. We're not really going to be seeing those winds increasing all too much throughout the afternoon either. Minus 30 36, though, way up north in Stony Rapids. So, yes, not the greatest morning in the north part of the province. Minus 32 in La Ronge, minus 25 in South End, minus 27 in Prince Albert. As we look towards the south, though, things are a little bit better. Minus 7 in East End, minus 13 in Swift Current, minus 13 in Moose Jaw, minus 11 in Assiniboia, and minus 14 in Estevan to wake us up. Later on this afternoon, we're seeing conditions pretty similar to what we saw yesterday. So more of the same. Minus 18 in Prince Albert, minus 18 for Yorkton this afternoon, mix of sun and cloud. Minus 10 in Moose Jaw. Moose Jaw is one of those cities where we could be seeing just a few flakes later on in the day. Minus 13 in Weyburn with that cloud cover, and minus 13 in Estevan. Now, we're taking a look at how this very small system is coming through today. About 11:30 a.m. You can see we have some patches of some flurries just west of Prince Albert. That is likely going to be tracking all the way down to the south, areas even farther south than Swift Current. They're going to be seeing a few of those flakes. And yes, we do have a chance of seeing some of those in Moose Jaw as well. And then we're looking forward to the overnight hours where we see part of that system making its way into northern Saskatchewan and tracking down through Prince Albert and Saskatoon by tomorrow afternoon. Regina also going to be seeing some flakes tomorrow afternoon. So we're just going to be prepared for a light dusting of some snow. With that snow tomorrow, minus 12 on Friday for Regina, and Saturday 1 degree with some more snow on the way. That's likely to start late on Friday evening with some ice pellets. So commuting on Saturday morning, probably not going to be ideal. Saskatoon, more of the same, minus 11 tomorrow with some of those flurries. Minus 4 on Friday, mix of sun and cloud. Again, the snow going to be starting really late in the evening on Friday, taking us into Saturday afternoon. Minus 1 for Saskatoon on that afternoon, and then minus 3 on Sunday, where we see the flurries move out of the way, and we're just talking about a mix of sun and cloud. Taking a look at our rural forecast now, we're seeing a bit more cloud cover today than what we have been seeing in recent days. Spiritwood minus 13 this afternoon, Outlook minus 11, and Wynyard with some pockets of sunshine minus 17. Down towards the south, some better temperatures, although we are talking about a few light flakes, less than a centimeter. Don't worry too much about that. Maple Creek up to 1 degree today, though. East End Cypress minus 6, Coronach minus 7 with that cloud cover, and Broadview with a little bit more sunshine minus 16. Let's take a look at Raymore, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. We're looking at a temperature of minus 17 this afternoon. Sun and clouds throughout the afternoon hours, and east winds pretty calm this afternoon up to minus 20.
All right, let's head back out to VIDO. That is the Vaccine and Infectious Disease Organization, where it appears our Mike Siona has donned a lab coat.
Well, so much innovation going on at the University of Saskatchewan, and right here at VIDO, as we celebrate the 50th anniversary, I'm joined by Bryce Warner, who's one of the scientists here. I don't know if you probably have a better title than that, but that's what I'm calling you because that's what I know. What are you working on in this particular lab on a day-to-day basis?
So right now we're working on vaccine projects. We're working on vaccines for hantavirus and highly pathogenic avian influenza. We're studying how high pathogenic avian influenza transmits. We're studying how it impacts lactating dairy cattle, which is something that's been going on for a couple of years now. We're also doing some field surveillance for hantavirus, and we're studying how hantavirus causes disease in humans.
Fascinating. So all sorts of agri-science applications as well as human applications.
Human and animal health, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, and of course, I mean, we've got all this equipment here. We should note this is not a live virus. This is just a for television demonstration. What are we going to do, and why would we do this?
We're just going to teach you how to transfer some media into a plate here. So we have our 8-channel pipette, and we're just going to suck up some media like this, and then we're going to expel it into a plate. So this is what we would do if we were, titrating a virus and doing dilutions, and transferring any liquid from one place to another.
Gotcha. And then obviously from there you can continue your experiment.
Yeah.
And carry on.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Like a professional.
Yeah, like a professional. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for taking the time. Obviously, a ton of real-world applications, both in the agri-science side of things and also the human vaccines and things like that going on here at VIDO at the University of Saskatchewan campus.
case you missed it, there is a new program in Chile using water to age wine. The bottles are put underwater in cages about 10 to 20 meters deep. Have you seen this before?
No, I've never seen this.
Been doing this for a little while. They kept there for about 8 months, maybe a year before they're ready to drink. The constant pressure, negative pressure, and reduced light creates what's called a cellar effect. So it's like putting it in a deep underwater cellar.
Does it affect taste at all?
Preserving and maturing the wine for decades, but it's a new project in Chile. It's supposed to give it a richer taste.
Okay.
In theory.
Would love to give that a shot.
Yeah, I would like to just try
two,
it once.
Please.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Do you deliver? Can we Uber that to the station? Now we come to our question of the day.
Yeah, we're asking you today, who do you think should be the flag bearer for Canada at the Olympics? Earlier in the show, I learned that apparently it has to be somebody who has performed at the Olympics before.
Right. Yes.
But I did not know that.
And our boss has not performed at the Olympics.
I did not know that. And we're just going to say anybody. It doesn't have to follow the rules today.
Yeah.
Well, Heather is saying Maya Schwinghammer, who we were talking about on the program yesterday.
Right.
Gaynor the Gopher came through.
They are making the announcement at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. our time. We're going to find out who it is. Dell believes it should be Mark McMorris, who just won an X Games medal.
I think that will be a very popular answer today. And then also someone writing in saying, I think it should be someone who truly exemplifies what it is to be Canadian. There are only two people who come to mind, Keanu Reeves or Jim Carrey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very athletic.
Why not?
Very athletic. Sure. Why not?
We want to hear from you, though. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You don't have to follow the rules. It doesn't have to be a former Olympian.
No.
Yeah, and we're going to share some more answers at about 8:15.
Do you remember?
A childhood classic is leaving Saskatchewan. Toys R Us stores in the province are closing as part of nationwide shutdowns. Stacey Hine has more on the reasons why and what it means to the retail landscape.
I don't want to grow up fun, Toys R Us kid.
For many Toys R Us kids, it's the end of an era in Saskatchewan, with the Saskatoon and Regina stores shutting down. A sign at the Saskatoon location reads, "This store is closing. Everything must go." The closing sale is drawing in shoppers like Keondon Chikosis, who remembers coming here as a kid and is now shopping for his daughter and a baby on the way.
I thought the dealers would have been cool. I want to try to pick up something for my daughter maybe, and then maybe for my new one coming soon.
The shutdown is part of a wave of closures from Toys R Us Canada, which operates separately from the U.S. chain. Open for more than 30 years, the Saskatoon location is the latest major retailer to leave the downtown core, following Hudson Bay's Midtown closure last year.
Whenever there's a closure of any kind, big or small, especially in our district, seeing them leave, it is a little sad to see them go.
The Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce told CTV News the closure reflects broader retail trends, including the shift to online shopping and price pressures facing young families. CTV News reached out to Toys R Us for comment on the closure, but did not get a response. On its website, the retailer says it's making improvements and that online shopping is temporarily unavailable. The Canadian Press reports 6 suppliers, including the makers of Paw Patrol and Gabby's Dollhouse, are suing Toys R Us over alleged unpaid bills, while landlords are seeking more than $31 million in alleged unpaid rent. The allegations have not been tested in court, and the company has largely denied the claims. Meanwhile, for many Saskatchewan families, the last run through Toys R Us is coming to an end. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
For our morning mystery, and if I guess Bad Bunny 3 days in a row, I probably get a prize. 3 clues for you at home. It is a thing today. Clue number 1. This design for this toy was filed in Denmark on January 28, 1958, so celebrating a birthday today. During the Christmas season, almost 28 sets are sold each second.
Ooh.
On average, there are 80 pieces for every person on the earth. Okay, well,
I feel like this one has
a
very obvious answer, but if it's wrong...
I'm doing a lot of kids' construction lately. Okay,
oh, come on.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, reveal.
Obvious too.
I went with Lego. Let's see what the answer is for you at home. It is Lego. Today is International Lego Day, and yesterday, Crocs announced that collaboration, those Lego block shoes that Jeremy's
So
so
the
eager
answer
to get
was
his
not
hands
Bad
on.
Bunny.
The answer
Can't
was
wait.
Bad Bunny Lego coming to a store near you. That was today's Morning Mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
All right, let's take a look at this school day forecast. It's brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're at -13, -14 in Saskatoon right now. By lunchtime, the temperatures are pretty similar for both cities, -17 for Regina and -18 for Saskatoon. And by final bell, just one notch warmer in Saskatoon at -15. We are expecting to see some increased cloud cover throughout the central zone today. And in Saskatoon, or in Regina rather, -16 at final bell. Winds going to remain very calm for both cities all throughout the afternoon today. Let's take a look at these gas prices. In Regina, the common price $121.9 this morning. The lowest you might find is $102.9. In Saskatoon, the common price $117.9, and the lowest you might find is $114.9. Over to the farm markets now, where we find the street price of canola at $596.93 per ton, and the futures price at $646.70 per ton. Amber Durham wheat now sits at $274.92 per ton, and red spring wheat at $253.43 per ton. And the Canadian dollar continues to trade up. It's now at 73.42 cents US. After the break, we're breaking down Draw 12 from the Scotties. Stay with us.
Welcome to your morning, Saskatchewan. Just about 7:30. Let's take you through some headlines. We begin with the town of Indian Head saying they plan to fight a federal government decision to close the agricultural research station in their community. The facility has been conducting research into crop production and farming practices since 1887. As Wayne Mantika tells us, the town believes the work done is vitally important to farmers.
The mayor of Indian Head was shocked to learn that Ottawa plans to close the local agriculture research station.
They did research into, from what I understand it, of making better crops, more protein, higher yields, different things like that, stuff that grows better in our climate. Is it a necessity? Yes, I think it is a great thing for the farmers, and they're doing the research to help them along with their production.
Closure of the research facility will cost the community about 40 good-paying jobs. It's the second major blow dealt the community by Ottawa in little over a decade. Back in 2012, the federal government announced closure of the Indian Head Tree Nursery, which cost the community 70 jobs.
That was our first hit. We survived it, but I mean, it's still, and now it's another hit to our community. So it's something we've had here for many years. I mean, the experimental farm is now close to 140 years.
Ottawa plans to close 7 agriculture research stations across Canada in an effort to reduce the size of the federal civil service. The 2 in Saskatchewan are in Indian Head and Scott. 17 others nationwide will remain open, including Saskatoon, Regina, Swift Current, and Milford, although there could be some additional job losses.
So we've already taken a lot of cutting over the last 10 years or so, and that yet they're asking more.
The town of Indian Head plans to fight the research center closure. It will soon convene a meeting with elected federal and provincial representatives to seek support and to work on a strategy. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Indian Head.
A Saskatoon woman took the witness stand in a second-degree murder trial Monday. She recounted the moment her husband was shot. Laura Woodward reports.
Eva Pritchard told court about the moment her husband took his final breath. Arden Panapakisik, her spouse of 19 years, was killed on February 10, 2024, inside their home on Avenue K North. This surveillance footage shows police arriving to the scene. 23-year-old Catlin Desjardins Kelly is charged with second-degree murder. Pritchard testified she doesn't know the accused very well, saying she had only met him once or twice as a guest of their roommates, often referring to him as the kid. She told court her husband and the kid got into an argument that turned into a shootout. Pritchard testified that the accused left their house but quickly returned and shot her husband in the neck. Pritchard said the kid fled and she ran to her husband, who was holding on to the washing machine to prop himself up. Quote, I stood there holding him. The blood just wouldn't stop coming out of his mouth. I heard him take his last breath and we both dropped to the floor. As the trial continues this week, more witnesses are scheduled to take the stand, including police officers and forensic experts. Laurel Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The City of Prince Albert has denied 2 requests by Ronald McDonald House to help cover the cost of road servicing in the area. Jasmine Peltier on why the organization felt the request was necessary.
The City of Prince Albert denied Ronald McDonald House Saskatchewan's request for the city to carry the responsibility of collecting surfacing costs for the development of 25th Street West from 7th Avenue to 10th Avenue West.
Just the asphalt and pavement portion of it, and that is what we are requesting. We don't pay upfront the full 25th Street cost, and we just pay for our portion of that pavement.
The organization previously entered a separate agreement to carry water infrastructure costs for the street and to collect contribution or reimbursement from benefiting property owners.
We are covering our costs as per our agreement with the city. We hadn't finalized the agreement on the surfacing, and so I felt it was our opportunity to revisit that and look at ways that we can perhaps work together.
Ronald McDonald House previously said it would take reasonable action to enter an agreement for paving with comparable payment responsibilities to the water infrastructure agreement. The organization has more than 5 acres of land at this location, but has determined only 2.7 acres are needed for the build. Some of the remaining property is not suitable for construction, but the organization plans to use it for community space. A second request by the organization to only pay development levies on the 2.7 acres was also denied.
As a council, I feel we have a responsibility to apply our policies consistently and fairly. Assuming private development costs, even for a valued nonprofit such as Ronald McDonald House, sets a precedent that we can't sustain.
Administration says the request is not in alignment with existing policy. Jasmine Peltier, CTV News, Prince Albert.
The Saskatchewan NDP says the government's PST on construction is choking growth. NDP MLA Elena Young was in Yorkton calling on the Premier to cut the 6% PST imposed on Grain Millers Drive construction project. The NDP estimates the tax costs builders an estimated $484 million every year since the government put it in place in 2017. The NDP claims it's driving up the costs of infrastructure and housing across Saskatchewan.
Whether it's that hospital, whether it's that water treatment plant, whether it's Grain Millers Road, taking the 6% PST off of these projects ensures that that money stays here in the community instead of going directly into the Sask Party bank account.
In a statement to CTV News, the provincial government said applying PST broadly provides a stable and reliable source of revenue to fund public services, including municipal grants, infrastructure, healthcare, and education. The 2026 Winter Olympics are less than 2 weeks away, and this morning we will find out who will carry Canada's flag at the opening ceremony. The Canadian Olympic Committee will make the announcement at 9 o'clock our time. In keeping with the IOC guidelines, Canada will select one man, one woman to share the role. Charles Hamelin and Marie-Philippe Poulin carried the maple leaf into the opening ceremony in 2022 in Beijing. The 2026 opening ceremony is set for February 6th in Milan. We are asking you at home who you think. You can weigh in on that. Meantime, draw 12 at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, Battle of Alberta between Skurlik and Sturmey. Both teams 3-1 so far. They've also split their all-time series at 17 apiece. Tied at 5 in the 10th then. Skurlik's last without hammers needs to get the shot stone. So it's going to come awfully close, but some controversy. Take a look at the replay. It's coming up on your screen. One of the Skurlik sweepers touches their own rock with their bottom. Both skips talking it over with officials, and the rock stays in play. So Sturmey has to throw her final rock. She's going to make this easily for her second 4-ender of the night. What a roller coaster. Sturmey wins this one by a score of 9-5. Let's get over to the Weather Center and talk about warmer weather on the way, but you got a color by number behind you there.
Yeah, and actually it's pretty nice to look at today because we're seeing those nicer colors. The whites and the pinks are indicating where we're seeing the coldest temperatures, and then if I step out of the way here, you can see some more of that blue color down in the southwest where we're seeing the warmer temperatures. Way up north, though, of course, still cold. Stony Rapids, stuck at that minus 36 mark so far this morning. La Ronge at minus 32. Nipawin minus 28. Spiritwood is warmer this morning than what we saw yesterday, though. At this time yesterday, they were at about minus 30. Today, minus 16, so not as bad. Minus 26 in Melfort, minus 32 in Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, though, a lot better. Minus 7 in East End right now, minus 13 in Swift Current, minus 13 in Moose Jaw, and minus 13 also for Regina and Weyburn, minus 14 for Estevan for this hour. In the afternoon, though, things are looking up. Minus 6 for Swift Current, minus 10 for Moose Jaw, minus 16 for Regina, minus 15 for Saskatoon this afternoon. We are seeing a bit more cloud cover than what we saw yesterday, particularly to the western part of the province. Eastern Saskatchewan going to be seeing a little bit more sunshine today. The Battlefords, though, does have a low chance of seeing some flakes later on this morning, and down towards the south in areas even farther south than Swift Current could be seeing some of that snow later on into the evening hours. We're not really seeing much for wind gusts today. The winds are going to be coming in fairly calm. You can see the strongest gusts, if you can call them strong, coming in around the Battlefords and around Swift Current. Don't worry too much about those. It's really going to be a pleasant day for the winds. Futurecast, though, showing what we were talking about with those flurries coming in. So it's a very small amount of snow. It's not even really going to be a centimeter. You can see the largest part of the system is going to be reaching Swift Current or areas just south of Swift Current about 7:45 p.m. this evening. Again, we're looking at less than a centimeter here. More of the snow, though, on the way for the day tomorrow. It's going to be coming in through the northern part of the province there. Prince Albert going to be seeing some of those flurries. Saskatoon likely in the mid-afternoon, and Regina stop and go for some very light flurries tomorrow. Again, we're not going to be looking forward to any significant totals there. With that, warmer temperatures for Regina, that's going to be minus 12 on Friday as well. And late in the evening on Friday, we're looking towards some ice pellets starting to fall. It's not going to be a pretty commute Saturday morning. The flurry is going to be continuing on into the afternoon, but the temperature going to be really nice, 1 degree. In Saskatoon, minus 11 tomorrow with some of those flakes, minus 4 on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud, and minus 1 on Saturday. Again, looking about, it's looking towards seeing the snow starting to fall late on Friday and just continuing on to Saturday afternoon. Over 25 mental health professionals are coming together today at the More Joy Regina Conference. To tell us more about the event, we have Krista Lee Froze with us now. Good morning.
Hi, Kayleen. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for your time. I'm excited to learn about the event. Let's start by talking about how it got started and what it's all about.
Okay, so in 2011, I had a nervous breakdown, which at the time seemed colossal to me. I didn't want to talk about it. I was sort of fearful to share. And once I started to share, I found so many other people had mental health issues too. And I've now learned that everyone has mental health, right? And so I wrote a book about it as recovery. I'm a journalist by trade. So I wrote a book to help me recover from that breakdown. And it resulted in something called Journey to Joy, which was released in 2018. And again, seeing so many people suffering when they came to book things, or everybody had a story, whether it was about them or their daughter or son or mom or dad. And so in 2019, the More Joy movement was started, and we had our first More Joy Regina. And we are now in our 6th. And More Joy Regina is just to bring all those resources together so you can come to a welcoming night of joy, but get some tangible tools regarding mental health when you leave.
Well, congratulations on reaching 6 years. That's pretty amazing. And some pretty amazing speakers this year as well. Tell us who we can expect, including the keynote speaker, who our viewers are very familiar with.
Yes. You know, one of the first interviewers I had was Britt Dort, because I came on the morning show then when the More Joy movement was started in 2019. And we joy bombed her, I remember. And I just can't believe this has come full circle. And she is now our keynote speaker at More Joy Regina. And she is going to talk about social anxiety and on-air anxiety, which it just normalizes the conversation, because we tend to think people who are, we see who are happy when we see them, right? They're on TV or they're on. We tend to think that they don't struggle, but she's going to share her struggles and her coping tools. We also have JJ Voss, which I'm just honored. He's a local musician, 9-time SCMA winner. And he wrote a song for More Joy Regina because, like all of us, he too has had his mental health struggles. And so I've we've gotten to see the lyrics, and it's going to be great. I cannot wait to hear it. And at the event, we're also going to have Dr. Amashade Ogundere, and she is a psychiatrist. And the cool story with her is she discovered, she was on a downward spiral, and she came to the More Joy Movement event in 2022. And since then, her mental health improved. She accessed some free counseling through our organization, and she is now one of our speakers, speaking about mental health. So, the whole point is that downward dips can happen to all of us, whether you are a psychiatrist, a doctor, whether you are an on-air personality, whether you are young, old, man, woman, it's universal. And so our night tonight is just to confirm to you that you are not alone, and you never have been.
A very important message. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Crystal Lee.
Thank you for having me. I'm just thrilled.
"15 years ago this week, Cairo streets were packed with protesters in an uprising that became known as Arab Spring. The protests had started in Tunisia before spreading to Egypt and other Middle East countries. There were many reasons: human rights issues, unemployment, dissatisfaction with existing governments. The protests in Cairo lasted for 18 days and led to the ouster of Egypt's president, Hosni Mubarak. He was later tried, convicted, and jailed for corruption.
Here's a look at what's happening in our community. The Taste of Cathedral is being held on January 31st at 6 p.m. It's being held at the Italian Club on the 2100 block of Connaught Street. And for more information, you can call 306-569-8744. If you'd like your event shown here, you can email us at reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca with at least 2 weeks' notice.
It's January 28th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a big happy birthday going out to Sebastian. He's officially 10 years old today. Have a great day from all your friends and family. And happy birthday to Crystal. She's now 38 years old. We hope it's a fabulous day with lots of love from your whole family and baby Charlie. And turning 99 years old today is Jack. Happy birthday to you with a ton of love from your entire family, kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Let's head back out to Regina's IMAX Theater and check in with Janelle Lippi for more ideas on how to beat the cold. Janelle.
Hi, Jeremy. That's right. We have now made it up to the projector booth in the IMAX. Lots of cool things to check out in here. Now, Ryan, let's talk this time about some of those Hollywood movies that you've got on the agenda.
Sure. So, yeah, February in particular is a very busy month. We've got sometimes 2 movies a week. We are showing Mercy right now, and this weekend we'll be opening Marty Supreme is getting an IMAX release, so we're excited about that. And we've got some anime with a movie called Scarlet, and then Wuthering Heights, and then an Elvis concert film, actually. It's called Elvis Presley in Concert. So it's, lots of Hollywood stuff going on as well. We show actually all of the IMAX content that goes in normal theaters. We show it here as well.
All right, and camera operator Ashley and I got a sneak peek look at Odyssey. Tell me what folks can expect.
Yeah, so really excited about that. Of course, they famously put 4 shows on sale for Odyssey in the summer of 2026. Of course, there will be more shows coming. I don't know when that's going to be. But if you have been lucky enough to see Avatar here, which we just watched this morning, was the Odyssey prologue, which is like a 5-minute clip from the middle of that movie, and it just looks absolutely incredible. I think it's going to be a fantastic summer. And of course, we'll be showing that on IMAX film as well. So one of 26 theaters in the world showing that on film, which is very cool.
Amazing. And before we wrap things up, we were talking earlier a little bit about how people are even coming out of country to check things out here at the IMAX in Regina. How does that make you guys feel?
Yeah, it's really special for us because, you know, when we're one of such a small number of places in the world showing a movie on film, you know, we're often the closest place for a lot of those people, whether they're, you know, from the U.S. or from, you know, somewhere else in Canada. And then, of course, in some of those places, those shows sell out too. And so then they travel here from L.A. or Finland or wherever.
Really, really neat. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for bringing us up here, showing us around. We've had a great time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, tons of great Hollywood movies here at the IMAX. Come check them out. If you're cold, you need something to do inside, there's tons of great things to find here.
Always a great experience. Thank you so much, Janelle. We'll see you again in a little while.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we head to Montreal, where the Canadiens were hosting the Golden Knights. Habs on the power play in OT. Cole Caulfield shot stop. Juraj Slafkovsky robbed. Akira Schmid. Check this out. He's got the glove ready to save the game, and it delivers, sending Slafkovsky into a state of awe. Can't believe what he just witnessed. What was it? Our must-see moment. That's what it was. Tonight on TSN, we've got a P-Dub doubleheader for you. The Toronto Raptors facing the Montreal Victoire, and then it's the Vancouver Golden Knights taking on the Minnesota Frost. Coverage gets underway at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 Pacific. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
Touching hand, touching cheek, touching you, sweet sandwich time.
Andy Samberg channels Neil Diamond, turning a diner into a concert hall in the new Super Bowl ad for Hellmann's Mayonnaise. Making her big game commercial debut, self-proclaimed Mayo superfan Elle Fanning.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Not if I see you first. The top two Oscar contenders will also do battle at the BAFTAs. One battle after another leads this year's BAFTA Film Awards nominations with 14, followed closely by Sinners with 13 nominations. The 79th British Academy Film Awards take place February 22nd in London.
I know it feels like it's the end of the world, but it's not. I saw the end of the world. I had a ringside seat for it.
A Holocaust survivor who's never told his story connects with an alienated teenager in The Optimist. Stephen Lang from Avatar and Elsie Fisher from 8th Grade star in the drama. The first trailer just dropped. The Optimist, based on a true story, opens in theaters March 11th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Chase, how do we win some stuff on Pure Country 92.7?
Honestly, if you go to the website, purecountry927.ca, all the contests are always right there. The big one to win you concert tickets for every show this year. That's the one you really want to be a part of right now. So enter, and then next name to be called out will be coming up 5:10 with Brandon later on today. Also coming up this morning, we're talking wieners. The Weenie 500 has come back once again. And this thing's wild. It's the Oscar Mayer mobiles racing around each other. Last year, they actually had more people in attendance to watch this than were at the Super Bowl. That's crazy. So we'll take a look at some changes they have coming. Plus, your Country Minute is on the way. New information with Al Langley's new album that's produced by Miranda Lambert. And we got to look at the Juno nominations from yesterday, too. Pretty much the Cameron Whitcomb show. And we can't wait to see him at Country Thunder this year.
JD, take it away.
All right. If you could, what would you want to tell your future self?
Everybody loves somebody sometime.
You can do so at this cafe. You can pick all the paper and pen and everything like that and write a letter to yourself, which you will receive in 5 years once you've forgotten all about it.
That's a neat concept. I don't know what I'd ever put in it.
No, I don't know either, but it's like a little time capsule for yourself. I like it.
You're still here. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Something simple like that.
Hopefully you're still here.
You're right. Let's knock on some. Is this real? Is this real wood? Most people get married surrounded by friends and family, but this couple did it in front of some complete strangers.
Thank you all for being here.
Tina and Roger aboard a Southwest Airlines flight just in front of all these passengers who probably want their legroom back.
I mean,
at least got a nicer plane.
A nicer plane.
I got married in front of a lot of strangers, though, because we got married on a cruise ship in a public garden, so there was a lot of strangers.
I'm sure it was
and
very
you invited
pretty,
a lot of people via karaoke.
The night before, yeah.
That's not unlike you at all.
Yeah.
Very inviting. Bye. Welcome to Wednesday, January 28th. Canada's premiers are looking to get on the same page on issues like affordability and trade during their winter meetings.
Is it a necessity? Yes, I think it is a great thing for the farmers, and they're doing the research to help them along with their production.
Town of Indian Head says it's going to fight the closure of that agricultural research center in their community.
Does not get outs. Raiders, good job holding that left line. Harvey drives the net pad, save on the rebound, they score.
Prince Albert Raiders red hot. WHL highlights plus a conversation with the Warriors coming up this hour. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning. Welcome to your morning. Daryl is with Kayleen here. Director Corey is asleep at the wheel up there.
Yeah, we're getting through it, though. I mean, this week, to be fair, it's been dragging a little bit.
Yeah.
So, also this month has been dragging.
It's still, so what is it, the 28th?
It's January 28th, and usually I say, like, oh, can you believe we're already this far? No, right now I'm like, January has been the slowest month ever.
Feels like January 31st, am I right? Yeah. It's 8:01. Let's get to news. Let's see if we can get back on track. The country's premiers are holding 2 days of meetings in Ottawa with the economy, affordability, and trade on the agenda. Premiers will want to show a united Team Canada front as trade tensions rise with the U.S. again. They will sit down with the Prime Minister tomorrow. The meetings come ahead of negotiations to renew the Canada-U.S.-Mexico agreement, which is up for its first formal review this summer. The U.S. President has threatened Canada in recent days with 100% across-the-board tariffs on exports. A 44-year-old Regina man has been charged with dangerous operation causing death. Around noon on October 12th of last year, police responded to a collision on the 3400 block of Dudney Avenue. You'll remember this one. A freight truck ran through a red light at the intersection of Dudney Avenue and Elphinstone Street, struck another vehicle. Truck then continued on and hit a 19-year-old woman inside a bus shelter. EMS performed life-saving measures, but it was too late. She died on scene. After a 4-month investigation, the driver of that truck has now been charged and made a first court appearance on Monday. A second suspect has been charged in Regina's first homicide of the year. Police say 37-year-old Stephen Mislichuk was arrested Monday and charged with indignity to a human body and accessory after the fact to murder. Officers discovered a man's body in the home on the 1400 block of Princess Street on January 19th after tracking down a vehicle attempting to flee police. 26-year-old Kobe Samuel Fiddler was also charged in this death. The investigation is ongoing. The Regina Police Service is reflecting on the past year with the city doing some encouraging things in terms of crime trends, while others are not so much. Donovan Mace takes us through it all.
Regina's crime rate continues to see an overall decrease, according to Regina Police Service statistics.
For the end of the year, in total, crimes against person and crimes against property were down 15.4% for the year, which is a significant decrease over 2024.
Now it's a trend Davey sees as encouraging as property crime continues to decline after hitting a 5-year high in 2023, with RPS reporting about 9,400 crimes like thefts and break-ins last year. And while overall property crimes decreased, arson cases are up for a 5th straight year, almost doubling from about 300 to nearly 600 in 2025. Now, crimes against people like assaults also declining, dropping about 14% or 500 cases from 2024. More troubling for RPS, however, homicides, as 11 people were killed in 2025, nearly doubling from the previous year and surpassing the 10 Regina saw in 2023. Now, despite that, police have laid charges in all 11 investigations.
There really isn't sort of any one thing that we can do to prevent it, but I'm certainly proud to say that we have laid charges in all of those instances. And for a police service and maintaining trust in the community, I think that that's a big important piece of it.
And as the service turns the page on a new year, Davies is stressing its commitment to public safety.
We're really responsive to crime trends as they happen throughout the year. So, I think all of our both patrol and investigative units are working hard in all of their respective areas to keep our community safe.
Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatoon police investigating 2 incidents that saw suspects force their way into homes and assault victims with a machete. To take us through it all, we throw things over to Jeremy Dodge. Good morning.
Good morning, Daryl. The first incident, this one happened Tuesday night, just before 8:30 in the 3100 block of Laurier Drive. This was Monday night. A 33-year-old man found with serious injuries. He told police he was inside an apartment when 3 people came into the suite and assaulted him with a machete. He was taken to a hospital to be treated. Then, about 1 a.m. yesterday, police called to the 1600 block of 22nd Street West, where a 46-year-old man reported 6 or 7 people went into his suite and also assaulted him with a machete. Those victims' injuries also serious in this attack. Police do not believe the attacks are connected, however. Now, a 28-year-old man's in hospital after being shot yesterday morning. He told police he was in an alley behind the 2200 block of 22nd Street West at 2 a.m. when he was confronted by a man he didn't know. The man demanded cash, stole the victim's wallet, and shot him before taking off. Victim is expected to recover. Police are looking for the suspect. And police are also investigating the assault of a taxi driver by a group armed with a machete. Officers called at the 2200 block of East Hill just after 11 o'clock Monday night. The driver reported arriving to pick up his passengers when 2 people pushed him. One had a machete. Several people were inside the home, including a 41-year-old man who had 2 knives, a baton, and drugs. He's now facing charges related to that. The taxi driver was not injured. Well, Daryl, some changes are coming to Air Miles.
Yeah, one of the most popular and longest-running loyalty programs with about 10 million members now getting a new name called Blue Rewards. But what does it mean for you at home? Pat Foran explains.
Air Miles has been in operation for more than 30 years, and this summer the familiar Air Miles logo with an airplane will be replaced with a new look and new name, Blue Rewards. BMO owns the loyalty program and says no action for clients is needed at this time, and any miles you have will hold their value.
If you've got $100 worth of something you're saving up for a gift card, a vacuum, or travel, you'll have $100 worth when we launch Blue Rewards in the summer.
BMO says it's adding new partners and new ways to earn, including the ability to earn points on groceries and food deliveries. Air Miles is a well-known brand, but loyalty card experts say it was time for an update.
Air Miles really needed a name change more than anything else. It's called Air Miles. It's got an airplane for its logo, but the brand has evolved over the years, especially since BMO purchased them. They're more of a general rewards program.
BMO is also hoping more Canadians will make the switch to its bank to take advantage of additional perks connected with the program. Rewards Canada, which studies loyalty programs, says more Canadians are no longer saving years for dream vacations with points, but instead are cashing them in more often for low-value rewards.
These shopping rewards or these everyday rewards, kind of like Blue Rewards, where you can get value just for a little bit amount of points. You don't have to spend years collecting points. You can maybe, after a month, you might have enough points to get $20 off something.
Rewards Canada recently announced its top 5 rewards cards. Number 1, American Express, followed by Aeroplan, Scene, Avion Rewards, and Air Miles, now Blue Rewards. Loyalty programs want your business. Barry Choi says make sure you pick one that best suits your spending.
Is the card that you have in your wallet right now making sense for you as far as a loyalty perspective is concerned? If not, it might be worth switching where you can earn more points that you can actually use for whether it be merchandise, groceries, or travel.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
It's rate decision day at the Bank of Canada. Most experts expect the central bank to keep its key lending rate unchanged at 2.25%. After the last rate announcement, the governor, Tiff Macklem, said he expects inflation to hold at 2% this year. If that changes, Macklem said the bank is ready to respond. Along with today's rate announcement, the Bank of Canada will release its updated economic forecast. Amazon is slashing about 16,000 jobs in the latest round of layoffs at the tech giant. Amazon says it plans to use generative AI to replace corporate workers. The fresh job cuts are part of a broader goal of trimming about 30,000 corporate roles, with the layoffs expected to affect workers in Amazon's web services, retail, Prime Video, and human resources. The company slashed 14,000 jobs in October. A senior vice president says Amazon has been reducing layers and removing bureaucracy. The CHL's top team ran their win streak to 8 games last night.
Does not get outs. Raiders, good job holding that left line. Harvey drives the net, pad save on the rebound, they score.
The Prince Albert Raiders are the top-ranked team in the entire Canadian Hockey League and continue to show why last night, beating the Moose Jaw Warriors 4-3. Warriors are winless in their last 3.
Gives to the circle, Marcus Ruck, backdoor, they score!
Liam Ruck looking like Bobby Orr soaring through the air as Medicine Hat Tigers knocked off the Saskatoon Blades 4-1 last night. The Blades have dropped 2 straight. They're back in action tonight in Lethbridge. Let's get a quick look at our weather forecast with Kayleen Swatsky. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, the sun is starting to come up out there this morning. It's still not super bright yet, but we should see that fully up in the next 30 to 40 minutes here across the province. Temperatures also not looking bad down towards the south. Up north, of course, we're still seeing some temperatures around minus 30. Minus 13 right now, though, to wake us up in Regina. A mix of sun and cloud to start the day. And we do have very calm winds for both Regina and Saskatoon. A few more clouds in Saskatoon, though, and that's going to continue on into the afternoon hours. Minus 15 is what we're waking up to in Saskatoon. Let's take a look at this futurecast, though, because we are talking about just a few flakes in some areas in the province today. What you're looking at right now is some flakes just west of Prince Albert. This is at about 12:30 p.m. this afternoon. And then later on into the evening hours, we're talking about some flurries down in that southwest corner of the province, mainly around Swift Current and just south of it towards the U.S. border. We're also talking about a very scattered, broken up system that's going to be impacting Saskatchewan tomorrow, mainly in the north. That's the largest chunk there. You can see it near the top of your screen. And then some flurries through Prince Albert, Saskatoon, and yes, over top of Regina as well later on into the afternoon. So we're going to be prepared for that tomorrow. It's not going to be a whole lot in terms of snow totals, though. Let's take a closer look at those current temperatures across the province, though. Minus 37 in Stony Rapids, minus 33 in La Ronge, minus 30 in Nipawin, and minus 26 in Melfort. Where we are seeing some improvements is Spiritwood. Yesterday, we were looking at this around minus 30 to 32 at this time. Today, it's minus 16, so it's better. Down towards the south, minus 7 in East End, minus 12 in Swift Current, minus 13 for Moose Jaw, Regina, and Weyburn all right now. Later on in the afternoon, temperatures looking pretty similar to what we experienced yesterday. Wind chill not really going to be a factor today. Minus 17 for Prince Albert, minus 18 for Yorkton with a mix of sun and cloud. Moose Jaw has a low chance of seeing some of those flakes later on this afternoon, minus 10 and minus 6 for Swift Current. 7-day forecast showing that temperatures are going to be getting warmer towards the weekend. Tomorrow, though, minus 12 in Regina, minus 12 on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud. 1 degree on Saturday. You see that snow icon there. That's actually going to be starting late in the night on Friday, continuing through to Saturday morning. But the temperature is going to be 1 degree. So temperatures at least looking great towards the weekend. Tomorrow in Saskatoon, minus 11, minus 4 on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud. And then, of course, we're still talking about those flakes on Saturday afternoon, minus 1, and the sun coming out for Sunday, and we'll be reaching that high of minus 3.
Let's take a look at this day in history. January 28, 1988, the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that abortion is not a criminal offense under Canada's Constitution. January 28, 1946, the Blue Nose hit a reef off Haiti and sank the next day. January 28, 1986, Space Shuttle Challenger exploded 73 seconds after liftoff from Cape Canaveral, killing all 7 crew members on board.
Well, for people spending their winter shoveling, there's not really a lot you can do about plows blocking off your driveway with snow, unless you play the guitar.
Baby, the plow just went by, and your dad's back is bad at 35. So stay here, my little big eyes.
Danny McNeil, guy from Sydney, Nova Scotia, written a song called The Plow Just Went By. Danny's a father of twins and has seen plenty of his hard work undone by plows. Says the song's not a complaint, though. He appreciates the hard work plow drivers do go through. For Danny, his song is more about life's responsibilities. He's actually going to officially release this track on Friday.
So he's got twins and he has time to write a song? That's my first takeaway.
He's not just deliriously tired.
Right?
All that shoveling and songwriting.
Yeah, well,
impressive.
I would take that shoveling as a nice little timeout.
Imagine those nighttime lullabies, though.
Yeah.
He probably has some great lullabies.
Yeah, he's leveled that up for sure. Question of the day, who do you think should be Canada's flag bearer for the Olympic Games? We're going to find out at 9 o'clock this morning who the man and woman to carry the flag will be.
I have to say this one wasn't exactly the most popular question of the day. We did have a couple more answers from last hour, but I will say one of the answers we got in was an actual criminal.
Oh.
We're not going to put those answers up. That's hit and delete on that one. Heather saying Maya Schwinghammer. We had another answer saying Gaynor the Gopher.
Maybe we need to do a better job of educating Canadians who our Olympic athletes are.
Yeah.
Well, so we never really find out until the games start, right?
Yeah.
Emma Miskew.
Yeah, Emma and Canadian curler, so that was a great answer there. A couple more answers saying Mark McMorris, and then just some Canadian celebrities, Keanu Reeves and Jim Carrey.
But which Jim Carrey do you think we'd get? Ace Ventura?
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Well, thank you for participating in our question of the day, sort of, I guess. We'll see you after this.
So if you don't own a snowblower, you're always in for a couple of big workouts every winter. And since it's still January, you might still have some snow clearing ahead of you. CTV's Pauline Chan has more.
For some people, the shoveling started last night.
It's decent because we did a bunch of phases yesterday.
Okay.
So I think if we didn't get ahead of it, it would be really hard.
When you're shoveling snow, it's a real strenuous physical activity, and it can have a lot of, extra workload on the heart.
Dr. Alan Grill says it's a full body workout that can stress the heart.
You're using your arms, your legs, your back. Secondly, when it's cold outside, your blood vessels tend to constrict. If people have heart disease, they can narrow because of cholesterol, etc. So if they narrow even more when it gets cold outside, that also increases the stress on the heart. Cold weather increases blood pressure, making the heart work even harder to keep the body going.
Take frequent breaks and don't overload your shovel. Use your legs to bear the weight and try not to twist your spine. Physiotherapist Kate Moffat says she anticipates people will start coming in with aches and strains in the next day or so.
The most common is low back injuries, followed by shoulder or kind of bicep and arm injuries.
And when you come in from the cold?
Our instinct is to rest and be still. And the best treatment for low back pain is to keep yourself gently moving. Simple pelvic tilt, some seated marching, just anything that keeps those muscles moving a little bit is going to help them settling down. Taking a walk just around your home.
She says winter isn't done with us yet, so learn to protect your body. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
For 50 years, the Vaccine and Infectious Disease Organization, that's VIDO, has been doing incredible work in Saskatchewan, and today our Mike Siona has been learning all about their processes. Mike.
Well, you heard the ad is all dressed up with nowhere to go. We have somewhere to go, and it's Vito here at the University of Saskatchewan campus with Dr. Trina Racine, who is the Director of Vaccine Development, and I am getting essentially PPE'd, which is personal protective equipmented up. This is kind of the starting point. Talk us through what else you would wear.
Well, so next we would put on what we call a Tyvek suit or a bunny suit. It's a full body suit that even has a hood to protect all of your clothing, and then we would put on some booties to go over your shoes, as well as then another layer of gloves to be able to go into the facility. And we wear all of this not to protect ourselves from what we're working with, but actually to protect what we're making, the vaccines that we're making from us, because we don't want to shed anything into those vaccines.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's different than when we were up in the CP2 lab upstairs. We were trying to protect the humans. Now we're protecting the vaccine itself. Let's talk about all of the exciting vaccine research and development that's being done here under your watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have here at Vito the Vaccine Development Center. It is a very versatile manufacturing facility to make vaccines for both humans and animals. And we can make just about any vaccine platform that you can think of, the traditional live attenuated and inactivated vaccines, as well as viral vectored, recombinant protein, and nucleic acid-based vaccines, so RNA and DNA-based vaccines.
Now, we're not shipping these out and sticking, different company labels on these things. It's a research level, but where is it and how does a vaccine go from, the classroom to my arm?
That's right. So what we do here is we work with Canadian academics, small companies, to take that research that they have developed with their bench scale process, that's what we call that, and move it into a level that is ready for clinical testing. So before a human vaccine can be commercially available, it's got to go through 3 phases of clinical testing. The material we make here could go up to phase 2 clinical trial material, and then we would tech transfer that process to a commercial facility for them to move it on to the public.
There you go. All right. Well, tried, tested, and true. There you go. Vito celebrating 50 years. What a fantastic and informative morning it has been down here at the U of S.
Greetings, everyone. The Saskatchewan Roughriders are the most iconic sports team in the land, who believe sport and education play a role in developing young leaders. Now the First Nations University of Canada has received a one-time $60,000 commitment from the Green and White that will support incoming Indigenous students through a bursary and scholarship. Jacob Carr has more on what the investment means for students moving forward.
Representation, opening the door to reconciliation, and education. The Riders are creating a pair of scholarships for the First Nations University of Canada, one for students moving away from home to attend school, the other for academic excellence.
I do know that there are students that want to pursue post-secondary education, but are not supported cannot be supported. Because of the limitations financially within their communities.
The Riders say they were able to make the commitment through the launch and sales of their Indigenous logo merchandise from 2024. The designer of that logo, Chris Chipak, says the announcement of the Away From Home bursary, which supports Indigenous students relocating from their home communities to attend university, hits home for him.
Making the move to come to Saskatoon and come to University of Saskatchewan, it was definitely a cultural shock. To be in a classroom in high school where there was 12 of us to coming into theaters where there's 300.
According to the Rough Riders, as soon as the Indigenous logo was unveiled, the merchandise started flying off the Rider store shelves, sparking a bigger conversation on how the team could give back to the Indigenous community.
We started looking at, what form does that take, and looked at our pillars, our community pillars, and right away education jumped out. And we thought if we can remove some barriers by providing some scholarships to Indigenous students entering First Nations University, that would be a very meaningful way to give back.
Reynolds went on to say that while the scholarships are currently a one-time commitment, the team is still finalizing profits from their colorized 2025 Indigenous logo, so similar announcements may be coming in the future. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
If you have a story you would like to see in this segment, here's how to reach us. You can contact me by email, and you can also watch past episodes and segments of Indigenous Circle on our CTV Regina and CTV Saskatoon websites.
Indigenous Circle is brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Indigenous Enterprise Foundation, growing the First Nation entrepreneurial spirit.
USA on you. It is 8:29. Let's get to your headlines. We begin with the town of Indian Head planning to fight a federal government decision to close the agricultural research station in the community. The facility has been conducting research into crop production and farming practices since the year 1887. Wayne Mantika reports.
The mayor of Indian Head was shocked to learn that Ottawa plans to close the local agriculture research station.
They did research into, from what I understand it, of making better crops, more protein, higher yields, different things like that, stuff that grows better in our climate. Is it a necessity? Yes, I think it is a great thing for the farmers, and they're doing the research to help them along with their production.
Closure of the research facility will cost the community about 40 good-paying jobs. It's the second major blow dealt the community by Ottawa in little over a decade. Back in 2012, the federal government announced closure of the Indian Head Tree Nursery, which cost the community 70 jobs.
That was our first hit. We survived it, but I mean, it's still, and now it's another hit to our community. So it's something we've had here for many years. I mean, the experimental farm's now close to 140 years.
Ottawa plans to close 7 agriculture research stations across Canada in an effort to reduce the size of the federal civil service. The 2 in Saskatchewan are in Indian Head and Scott. 17 others nationwide will remain open, including Saskatoon, Regina, Swift Current, and Milford, although there could be some additional job losses.
So we've already taken a lot of cutting over the last 10 years or so, and yet they're asking more.
The town of Indian Head plans to fight the research center closure. It will soon convene a meeting with elected federal and provincial representatives to seek support and to work on a strategy. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Indian Head.
Alberta judges are calling for respect after Premier Danielle Smith's most recent comments on wishes she could direct them.
The notion of appointment and this is conflating American rhetoric and American messaging to the Canadian reality. It's not just apples and oranges. We're comparing grapes to watermelons.
A statement from the Chief Justices of Alberta Courts explains the province's executive branch makes policy, the legislative branch makes laws, and the judicial branch interprets them, adding all 3 must work independently as per the Constitution. This statement comes after a number of comments from Smith criticizing judges, most recently on a weekly call-in show, which she wishes she could direct judges regarding bail reform. A spokesperson from the provincial courts declined to link the statement to the Premier specifically. Smith's office also telling CTV News her office respects the role of each branch of government and their independence. The Liberal government is focusing on the passage of its bail legislation by hitting pause on pushing its hate crime bill through the legislative process. A motion passed by the Justice Committee Monday stops the case-by-case study and clause-by-clause study of the hate crime bill C9 in order to focus on getting the bail bill C14 passed. This is something the Conservative Party has been pushing for ever since the Liberals and Bloc Québécois agreed to an amendment in the hate crime bill, removing a religious exemption on hate speech in the criminal code. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has called that amendment an assault on the freedom and expression of religion. Passage of the Liberals' bail bill will make it more difficult to get bail for a variety of crimes, including some vehicle theft, extortion, and human trafficking offenses. Family Literacy Week kicks off across Saskatchewan this week, encouraging families to turn everyday moments into learning opportunities. Carla Shigaruk reports.
Llama, llama, red pajama. This group is improving literacy by listening to a storybook in this class, but other activities where kids are listening to instructions are also considered ways to improve literacy. Tuesday marks the 27th annual Literacy Day across the country, and until Saturday, it's Provincial Literacy Week. The focus this year is to maximize everyday activities like making meals to help build literacy skills before kids start kindergarten.
Conversations happen in the kitchen, they happen when you prep meals, they happen when you set the table.
For this mom, classes like this one for preschoolers called Learn to Soar are a valued part of teaching her 3-year-old.
We just dropped in to listen to some stories and play some games. For Madden to meet some new friends and learn some stories, play some games.
Saskatchewan families and literacy partners are coming together this week to celebrate learning, which begins at home.
Learning starts from birth, if not even before. And so when we read with our children, spend time with our children, talk with our children, we're exposing them to vocabulary, we're exposing them to increased concentration.
The topic of technology is also part of the literacy conversation.
Parents are really interested about handheld devices. How much time should my child be spending with their iPad?
She says there's increased data coming out that kids under 2 shouldn't have any exposure to technology.
It's hard to grow critical thinking skills, reading skills, writing skills, all of those important platform pieces of learning on technology when it's handing you the information.
Family Literacy Week continues with events and resources at local family literacy hubs across the province. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Now to tennis star Coco Gauff speaking out about the moment she thought was private frustration after losing at the Australian Open, smashing her racket, not knowing cameras were rolling. Here's Laura Spencer.
It was supposed to be a private moment. American tennis star Coco Gauff smashing her racket in frustration. Commentators and the whole world, though, watching it happen live.
Wow.
The racket smash happening after a huge upset for the 21-year-old in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, losing to Ukrainian Elina Svitolina.
Svitolina stuns and moves on to the semifinals.
Coco seen here leaving the court seemingly composed as cameras followed her into the wings and eventually behind a wall.
I tried to go somewhere where they wouldn't broadcast it, but obviously they did. So yeah, maybe some conversations we can be had, because I feel like at this tournament, the only private place we have is the locker room.
It's something Gauff isn't apologizing for, saying it was better to smash a racket than take her frustrations out on her team.
I don't think it's a bad thing. So I don't try to do it on court in front of kids and things like that. But I do know I need to let out that emotion. Otherwise, I'm just going to be snappy with the people around me, and I don't want to do that.
Bill Belichick not elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame on the first ballot. The 8-time Super Bowl winning coach fell short of the 40 out of 50 votes needed for induction. He won 6 Super Bowls as the head coach of the Patriots, as you know. His 333 wins are second only to Don Shula's 347.
Rourke looks to his right. That's where he throws, and that's intercepted. Taken away. Lacombo's got it.
Defensive back Nelson Lacombo has signed a contract extension with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. The former U of S Husky had 23 tackles and an interception last year, playing safety and special teams. He was drafted by the Riders 2nd overall in 2021. He missed his rookie season with a torn Achilles. What a bounce-back season for him, and a Grey Cup ring, and maybe we can celebrate another one coming up later on in June. We are not experiencing June temperatures right now.
No, well, not up north. Down towards the south, we're seeing some wonderful temperatures. You can actually see that pocket of blue there into some purple colors. That's where we're seeing the warmest temperatures this morning down in the southwest. That is repeated from yesterday. Really, all other places in the province, mainly up north, we are still seeing a chilly morning. So minus 37 right now in Stony Rapids, minus 33 in La Ronge, minus 27 right now in Prince Albert, and minus 33 for Hudson Bay. Down towards the south, though, minus 15 waking us up in Saskatoon, minus 13 in Regina, and minus 7 over in East End. So the closer we get to Alberta there in that southwest corner, the warmer we are. And that trend is going to continue into our afternoon hours. Minus 6 for Swift Current, minus 10 for Moose Jaw, minus 12 for Weyburn with that cloud cover, and minus 13 for Estevan. A little bit more sunshine over in the Parkland region today, and lower winds once again, minus 18, minus 17 for Prince Albert this afternoon. And the winds are looking a lot more favorable than we have seen in previous days. We have been seeing the strongest winds over in the Parkland region for the past few days, and now we're seeing them over in the Battlefords and Swift Current, but even still, the gusts are only barely surpassing 30 kilometers per hour. We are expecting to see just a little bit of snow today. It's going to be starting earlier on in the day in areas west of Prince Albert. And then into the evening hours, we are going to be seeing some flakes in areas south of Swift Current. Swift Current could also be seeing a few of those flakes. Areas around Moose Jaw could see just a little light dusting, and then areas just west of Estevan there. It's not going to be a lot, likely less than a centimeter, so don't worry too much about it. Tomorrow we have some more on the way, but this system is very broken up, very scattered. It's going to be a little bit of a stop and go game for Saskatoon and Regina with those flakes tomorrow. Mainly where we're going to be seeing consistent flakes is up north. Your 7-day forecast looking pretty good in terms of those temperatures. -12 tomorrow, so we're getting closer to that seasonal average, still barely below it, but closer. -12 on Friday with a mix of sun and cloud. Friday evening, we'll be seeing some ice pellets starting to fall, and then into Saturday afternoon, that will turn into those flakes. 1 degree, though, on Saturday afternoon, so temperatures will be nice at least. -4 on Sunday with some cloud cover. -3 on Monday, still seeing some increased cloud cover, and 1 degree on Tuesday with a mix of sun and cloud. In the early afternoon, a few flakes later on in the day. In Saskatoon, -11 tomorrow. Of course, still seeing some of those flakes. Again, stop and go. -4 on Friday with a mix of sun and clouds. Saturday, a few of those flakes into the afternoon hours, -1. And -3 on Sunday with a mix of sun and cloud.
In sports, we focus in on the Moose Jaw Warriors and welcome in the most handsome play-by-play man in all the land. That is James Gallo from the Moose Jaw Warriors. James, thanks for doing this. Not the result you wanted last night against the best team in the country, but you played them hard.
Yeah, played Prince Albert pretty good last night. Really good first period, up 2-1. But I think as the game went on, Prince Albert's depth really took control of the game, especially in the third period, outshooting Moose Jaw 16-2. Just that only goal for Connor Howe in the third period. Valiant effort, but just not close enough for the Warriors.
This is supposed to be another rebuild year. What's happening with this team? I see you in a playoff position. You look good. You're competing every night.
Yeah, competing every night, which is nice, right? 18 one-goal games means you're in a lot of hockey games. I think a lot of guys have taken step forwards, which is nice. However, you lose Luke Miraz in the first game of the first period of the first game of the preseason, and then you lose your captain and your leading scorer, Lyndon Lakovich, who is arguably one of the best players in all the Western Hockey League. You lose him in late November. So, the Warriors may be forced to turn the page a little bit quicker than they would have liked to, but with those guys out, unfortunately, it means that other guys need to step up, and that just speeds up the development. And we're seeing guys like Matthew Lajoie and Riley Thorpe, and of course, leading scorer Landon McFadden take off, which is nice to see.
That's what I mean. You're supposed to, by all accounts, you guys are supposed to be, fighting for a pretty high draft pick, and you're right in the mix.
Yeah, which is good, and that's a testament to the coaching staff and the structure put forward. Good job by the players to battle. I mean, it is junior hockey. There's a lot of peaks and valleys in games and in the season. I think the guys have done a nice job managing that so far in the second half. They go 3-3 on the U.S. Division road trip, which is a tough road trip to have any success on. 5 straight one-goal hockey games, so they're battling. It's just now, talking to the coaches, it's little moments in hockey games where, you have the opportunity to maybe get that big goal or to make that big play in the defensive zone. Unfortunately, the opposition's capitalizing on those little moments. But again, that's just comes with the development of a young team, learning to be on the positive side of those little moments in a game.
If I'm a fan of the Western Hockey League or junior hockey and I want to see the Moose Jaw Warriors play in my city, who am I keeping my eye on? Who's going to jump off the page to me?
Again, obviously we'll start with Landon McFadden. 20 goals, picked up 2 goals, 3 points last night against Prince Albert. Leads the team with 47 points. He'd be the first guy. If you're looking at the younger age group, the Warriors had 2 really good defensemen at 16 years old. Colt Carter is the 3rd highest scoring 16-year-old defenseman in Moose Jaw Warrior history, trailing only Morgan Riley and Nathan Page. And those were 2 really good hockey players for the Warriors. So he's a more dynamic guy. And Cohen Williams is another 16-year-old defenseman for the Warriors who, as the season has gone on, he has gotten better and better and better. He's playing big minutes against, older guys in the league. He's learning how to use his size. He's, getting more confident bringing the puck up the ice. So a lot of young talent for this team to build around and for fans in other markets to come and see.
You're in Lethbridge taking on the Hurricanes tonight. Then you are back home Friday night against Edmonton. Where do I get tickets?
Well, I hope we're not in Lethbridge tonight because otherwise...
That's Saskatoon.
That'll be a long drive. You betcha. No, we are off tonight. Back at home Edmonton to take on the Oil Kings. Of course, that'll be a tough task. The Oil Kings they're a great team as well. Top 3 in the Eastern Conference standings. So tickets available online, mjwarriors.ca. And then Daryl, we will be in your town on Saturday, so you can come see us Saturday when the Warriors take on the Regina Pats.
I'm going to accept that as a personal invite, James. Thanks for doing this.
Anytime, Daryl. Appreciate it.
Last time a Saskatchewan rink won the Scotties Tournament of Hearts was in 2011. You bet. PlayStation 3 was in, and Saskatchewan skip Amber Holland was knocking opponents out. Her Chrono Saskatchewan rink breezed through round 1, going 9-2. Saskatchewan beat Ontario in a semifinal to reach the final against Team Canada, skipped by the legendary Jennifer Jones. It was a seesaw match with no team doing any stealing until the 10th end. The game was tied at 7, and Holland had a pretty nice setup in the house for a steal. Jennifer Jones lined up to try a run back, and it looked good initially, but it had a bit too much weight, and her rock rolled out, giving Holland the win. Saskatchewan had won the Scotties, and to this day it remains the last time they crowned themselves Canadian women's curling champions.
And if you want to check out more classic sports moments from the days of Wilco and wood finish televisions, you can check them out on our website.
Now let's head back out to Janelle Lippi one more time at Regina's IMAX Theater. See what she's getting up to now. Janelle.
All right, well, we've made it from the IMAX over to the Science Center. And around us, this is a new exhibit, Ryan. Tell me what people can expect.
Yeah, this was just delivered yesterday. So this is our new temporary exhibit that's going to be on the 3rd floor. It's called Earth in Focus, Insights from Space. And it is all about the things that we learn about the Earth from being in outer space. So it talks about satellites, it talks about photo imagery from space, and just all of the positive impacts that has on our lives here on Earth.
Really, really neat. Tons of great stuff, and it's actually taking up this entire stretch, so tons for people to look forward to. Now, not only this exhibit, but there have been some previous events going on as well. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yeah, it's just actually like the next couple of weeks are really big for space stuff right now. So we've got, yesterday was Jeremy Hansen's 50th birthday, which is pretty cool. Today is actually the 40th anniversary of the Challenger disaster, unfortunately. So a lot of people, my age, certainly, that's a big touch point in our lives. And then next Friday, February 6th, that is the scheduled launch of the Artemis 2 mission. So that is the first manned mission around the moon in, 40 plus years. And there's a Canadian, of course, Jeremy Hansen. He's going to be on that flight going around the moon. So it's a really exciting time for space, not just for the world, actually. Canada, the United States, the entire world. It's a big time right now.
Yeah. Really big time. This is some great stuff, Ryan. Thank you so much for spending the morning with us here.
Thank you for coming here.
All right, well, that wraps things up. Once again, if you're looking for a nice warm activity on a cold winter day, you can come down to the IMAX or the Science Center. There's a lot of great stuff to check out.
The 55th Annual Juno Awards will be held in Hamilton, Ontario next month, and we now know who is in the running for Canada's top music prize. CTV's Andrea Case breaks down the nominees.
Do backflips.
He may have first caught our attention when Kamloops, BC's Cameron Whitcomb auditioned on American Idol, but now he is a Juno nominee. Yep, he is no quitter. The first-time nominee heard his name 5 times this morning, including for Breakthrough Artist of the Year and TD Fan Choice Award, as well as Country Album of the Year. But leading the pack, Justin Bieber is an 8-time Juno winner already, but never has he had 6 Juno nominations in 1 year. Hold on, hold on. His single Daisies is up for Single of the Year off the album Swag 2. He will also vie for Artist of the Year. Could Tate McRae be any hotter? The former Calgary-born dancer tied the Biebs with 6 nominations. Best Single, Sports Car kicked off her Album of the Year contender, So Close to What? Daniel Caesar already has been announced as a performer, and he may pick up a Juno this year. He is nominated for 4 trophies, as is The Weeknd. Fill my head with all these sounds. The Junos will be hosted by comedian, actor, and singer Mae Martin from the TD Coliseum in Hamilton on March 29th. Andrea Case, CTV News. I know it sounds special, but it feels...
Well, today we will find out who will carry the flag for Canada in the opening ceremony of the Winter Games in Italy.
Back in London, Ontario, a group of seniors is gearing up for the competition of a lifetime. Here's Sean Irvin.
On the ice and on the bench, this squad of senior hockey players is full of team spirit.
Go get him, Jamie!
London senior hockey, once known as Huff and Puff, has welcomed players into their 80s and a few into their 90s. But when the most senior in this recreational group decided to form their own over 80 competitive team, they ran into a problem. While submitting an application for the Ontario 55-plus Winter Games in Huntsville, the team found out they will be in a league of their own.
This is groundbreaking for us because I don't think any 80-year-old team has competed at this level before.
Games officials confirm it is a first. So, with no one else to play in their age group, the London team had to agree to face off against kids in their 70s. The thought doesn't scare this 81-year-old defenseman.
Oh, yeah, I said immediately, put me on.
The declaration is not surprising, as most have been playing for 3/4 of a century.
I think I got my first pair of skates when I was 4.
I'm just the type of person that has to keep busy, and I've always played all kinds of sports.
The team will be coached by Brian Laporte, but as a young pup of 72, he does know his place.
You can't teach old dogs anything. Dude, come on.
Laughs aside, Brian, who is the convener of the LSH, takes pride in heading up a squad of senior hockey stars.
Hopefully that's an inspiration for Ontario Senior Games.
Some, like John, a survivor of 2 heart attacks, have certainly taken on bigger challenges. It's partly why he was chosen to dub the team the War Years.
War Years, W-A-R-Y-E-A-R-S, because most of us were born in the war years.
And for that reason, young players are forewarned that this group is not about to let you carry a puck by them without a little chip shot.
Coincidental contact, I guess. Yeah.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
The line of the story is forced to play against kids at 70.
Yeah. 70s.
Goodness gracious. Good for them. I hope I'm still that active when I'm that age.
I mean, you're still going to be getting pucks to the teeth then. How many fake teeth will you have then?
I don't know. I'm up to about 6. Let's get on to our sidebar.
Wow.
An Edmonton Oilers superfan has now attended his 200th home game in a row, and what's even more impressive is the trip he takes to get there.
There were 2 nights coming home after games that it took me 8 hours to get home because of the snowstorms, and the Highway 2 was closed. I listened to a lot of different hockey podcasts.
Trevor Wheel, whose nickname is McMullet, as seen there, can't tell why, has seen every home game since the beginning of the 2022 playoffs. That includes every preseason, regular, and postseason game. But he lives 3.5 hours away, which means the time he takes to get there, it's about a 7-hour road trip. The Oilers acknowledged Wheel's feat by presenting him with a special puck and broadcasting a first intermission interview with him on the arena's Jumbotron.
Wow,
That's
is
dedication.
commitment. Yeah, that's incredible.
Do you know the price of gas, McMullet?
I want to know if you
this
can
guy must be
afford all
rich.
those tickets, you can afford a house closer to the stadium.
A rental property, maybe. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Maybe get a job in Edmonton. Congratulations to him. JD, what do you got for us?
We're going to talk about Leonardo da Vinci, and there's a ceiling painting he's done in Milan's Forza Castle, and it is within sight for visitors during the Winter Olympics. But for years it was hidden by layers of paint. Now it's only behind some scaffolding. They closed the room to the public for years trying to get this restoration done, but since so many people will be in Milan for the games, they figured they should let their progress be shown off to the world.
Wow.
Heck yeah. Absolutely. They
show it off.
Still finding stuff. Incredible. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here first thing tomorrow.